money than poker tables.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, we've heard this hundreds of times starting in the 80s. And so it was really hard to get poker rooms established. There's nothing we could do. A casino would make a decision and they'd be like, all right, we'll have 4 or 5 poker tables. And they'd be like, you know, I know the numbers in the late 90s. Each slot machine makes about $80,000 a day. And so they could put like, you know, 5 slot machines, 4 or 5 slot machines in one area where you could have a poker table, and you know, maybe 6. And so that's a lot to compete against. And so, you know, when poker broke out and everybody demanded tables and everybody, when it got really hot, yeah, I thought that, you know, we wouldn't be facing things like this in the future. But, you know, listen, I can't blame Binions because, you know, I mean, it's really hard to have a 9-handed game that you can actually rake right now. And so you've seen some of those contraptions they have for poker tables now, you know, where they have plastic up and it's hard to play 4 or 5-handed. And people are flocking in for those to play. But I'm not sure that's a realistic fix. So post-COVID, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Binions did have poker tables back in. But it's a very sad day for poker when Binions gets rid of their poker room.
Yeah. I think my first trip to Vegas was 2004, and it was the final time it was actually in Binions. And obviously, unbeknown to me, that was a little bit of history. I was stood there on the rail watching my first ever World Series event. I can't remember what it was, but not knowing that it wasn't going to be in Binions anymore. You know, that's a little bit of history. Can you remember what's the big poker table that's on the wall where everybody's signed it? Is that still there?
I don't remember. I did go to Binions about 1.5 years ago. I was downtown for whatever reason, and I think I had my sister. Yeah, my sister Ann was with me, and Ann is a Special Olympian, has a bunch of gold medals from Special Olympics. And she and I walked through there, and we saw the pictures on the wall, and you know, and it was kind of nice to see. It was kind of a step back into, you know, where I did a lot of business.
There's a lot of history in that room, and like you said, we don't know what's going to happen, but it looks like it might have finished in Binions. Going yourself, the critics. Now, you answer the critics with result after result after result. Does it affect you and the way you play and think, do you know what? This is for one of you.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand that, you know, I think a lot of people, if you're going to be great, or if you want to be the greatest of all time in your sport, people are going to chop you down at the knees and try to stand on your shoulders, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, there's some negativity there. And so, you know, I've been a huge figure looming large in poker for a long time. And I think some people are like, hey, he's getting too much press. You know, he doesn't deserve it. And, you know, some of the younger generation is like, what's so special about Phil? And so, yeah, I mean, it's a natural progression to try to, and so, but some of them don't handle themselves very well. And the difference is when I came up in poker, I gave a lot of respect to all the people before me. Always respected Doyle. Johnny's only 3-4 years in front of me, but always respected Chip Reese and all the great players that came before me. And there was always respect. I never went around, you know, saying bad stuff about them. And, you know, I kind of earned my stripes. So, you know, it's interesting to me that you have this, you know, a bunch of high rollers, and you have like, say, 20 or 30 guys that consistently play in the high rollers, and they proclaim themselves the best players in the world. They aren't. And then the press is incentivized to claim them the best players in the world. And they play with, you know, 10, 15 businessmen. And so they're not the best players in the world. You want to be the best in the world. You win bracelets. You win world poker tournaments, world WPTs. You win EPTs. Now, if you want to talk about, you know, somebody like Adrian Mateos or Dominic Nietzsche, these guys are great. They've proved it because by winning bracelets. Alex Foxen is a great player for sure, and he just won a WPT to back up, you know, a big one in December. Nice job. And so, but I mean, you know, if you want to be great, then you have to win bracelets. And it can't just be a bunch of high rollers, because there's a lot of great players. A lot of the best players in the world don't play in those tournaments all the time. I think Negreanu is one of the best players in the world. You don't see him out there all the time in all the high rollers. You don't see Ivy out there in all the high rollers. You don't see me in all the high rollers. And, so you have to pick your poison, if you want to be great. And they all pick the poison of playing in World Series of Poker tournaments. And, and so I mean, yeah, there's always going to be critics, and that's just a natural. There's always going to be haters, and that's just that's a natural way of the world. I do get a little bit upset when they throw me under the bus, but you know what? It's also motivating. I called Negreanu and I said, man, you've been one of my biggest critics. I mean, he was telling me in 08 and 09 and 10 that I'll never win again unless I start playing like they play. And I said, I think you're crazy. And he's like, I have the best coach in the world. His name is blah, 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 blah. Well, that guy disappeared a long time ago. And then the next year he said, I have the best coach in the world. His name is blah, 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 different name. That guy disappeared a year later. And, 2011 and 12, I think I was second in player of the year, both of those years at the World Series of Poker. I think I won 2 or 3 bracelets. I had a bunch of, I don't know how many final tables, but, and then, recently people are like, oh, well, Phil can't play in faster paced tournaments, the ones where the blinds go up every, Phil can't play in tournaments that go up every 20 minutes or half an hour. And then I won one of those, and then I final tabled one. And then I think I have 3 final tables in the $5,000 faster tournament. What do they call it? Turbo.
The turbos.
Said, that can't work because Phil doesn't understand the math. So it's always Phil doesn't understand this, Phil doesn't understand that. Now, the interesting thing is most of the people watching this interview say, oh, well, what is Phil talking about? We all know he's a great player. And that's true, because you're really talking about a select few people. Yeah, but it's a little aggravating, but they also motivate me. And so then they also fail to see what I'm doing every year. I mean, in 2019, World Series tournaments, what did I have? I had a 5th, a 6th, a 2nd, a 3rd, and I mean, like there's a handful of people that had those kind of results.
16 catches in 2019.
Yeah. And so, I mean, so whatever. I mean, I think, yes. Does it rub me the wrong way sometimes? Yes. But do I hear those voices every day? No. I mean, sometimes I don't hear somebody criticize me for 40 or 50 or 60 days because I'm not on all the forums. But I'm aware of it. And then when I see it, I'm always a little bit bummed out.
Yeah. If we had a Champions League Triple Crown of Poker, you've won the World Series main event, you've won the World Series Europe main event. What would make up that Triple Crown that would be like, those are the 3 that you need to win?
Okay, that would be the 3rd one. It's the Poker Players Championship, the PPC. Yeah. And I had a 2nd in that. And that one really hurt because I had Brian Rastall in 3 times. And to win one of those hands, I guess I was 84%, they said, to have that. And that would have been nice. That would have been an unassailable Triple Crown.
Yeah. We have got 15 braces. Do you need to be stranded on a desert island for people to catch you?
I mean, you've got Phil Ivey, who can win 2 or 3 bracelets in a year. You've got Daniel Negreanu, who's just like, how many final tables a year does he have? And he has so many seconds. Yeah. Like he and I were battling for, I think I have 12 seconds and he has 11 second places now or something. But he tied me for seconds for 1 minute there. And unfortunately, I had a second over in Europe that I really wanted to be a first. And he was at the final table with me. So there's some people that are just great. Who knows what the future holds for Dominic Nietzsche? Who knows what the future holds for Adrian Mateos? Who knows what the future holds for some of these guys that are that are there playing all these events. Now, a lot of the young guys don't play all the mixed games, but you know, I think, what do I have? I have 2 bracelets in Raz, and all the rest are in Hold'em anyway. If you're great at Hold'em, you can get there more often because there's more skill.
Out of the 10, 11, 12 second place finishes, and I'm just gonna read. This tweet from yourself was just amazing. Hitting my number 1 live goal at 24 was amazing. By the time I was 28, I had 5 WSOP wins and a new life goal was to become the greatest poker player of all time. You figured you needed to win 24 bracelets as recognized as the greatest of all time. If all those second places would have been wins, would have got there. But why did you say 24?
24 is a number that kind of like, I don't always have a perfect understanding of, you know, I'd almost say mystical things. You know what I mean? I know that our minds are very powerful, and some of that is kind of untapped and unknown. And, you know, my book Positivity talks about, you know, how I've kind of, you know, harnessed some of that potential, and how other people can harness that potential. And so for me, 24 was a number that I came up with at a young age. And I just thought, you know what, I can win 24 bracelets. And I came up with it in 1993, 94. I figured 24 would make me unassailable to the whole world. You know, I remember in 2005 when I passed Johnny Chan and I passed Doyle Brunson, and they both came up and congratulated me. And that was classy, right? We all shook hands. They were all like, great job, Phil. I mean, there was a big, you know, when they awarded me that bracelet in front of the whole room, that night right after I won it, there was Chan and Brunson.
Brilliant.
And at that point, we were crazy. Johnny, and I think it was 05, but you know, Johnny Chan and Doyle Brunson and I maybe it was 07 I passed them, but I mean, there were years where they'd win, Doyle would win 2, Chan would win 2, and I'd win 1 bracelet. I think that was 03. And there, I mean, so we were just winning them in bunches, even in the modern era. And so that battle was great. And so, yeah, you're never safe. There are people that can catch me, but now I have the records, and you know, I just have to keep raising it.
Any of those second places you would have thought, you know what, I really wanted that one?
Yeah, I remember there was a second place where a guy was very, very lucky against me repeatedly. And then, and I still had a chance to take him out. I think I had pocket 5s and he had ace king. And I limped in with the 5s. We were playing 3-handed. The other guy had a peanut of a stack. And he raised, called, and it came 10 jack 7. And he bet and I raised with the 5s. And he just called, and I knew he had ace king. And the turn, I bet, he raised, and I re-raised him. Or at least I called him with the intent of calling on the river. And for some reason, I bailed on the river. All I had to do was call 500,000 on the river. I'm going to bust him. The other guy has the tiniest stack ever, Eugene Todd. And so that one really hurt because I also had the guy all in. I think he had king 10 suited when I had ace queen. I had him all in. We had a flip one time. And so that one hurt. I mean, of course, when I finished second to Brian Rast, that's the one that hurt the most. Because I had him down to no chips. And the whole poker world was watching. The stands were full of people at 3:30 in the morning. That would have been the one, the Poker Players Championship. I probably regret a bunch of those second places. I remember one in 1994 where I had 2 aces, and I had a guy named George Rodas on with a king and a 10. Howard Lederer had a short stack. And he was on before the flop with king 10. And he somehow won. I remember it came jack 10, and he turned to 10. And you know, I'd been waiting, moving in. Finally, I had aces, and that one I felt like I was supposed to win. And so there are times where you just feel like you were supposed to win a bracelet, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. Apart from poker, you obviously write books with We've touched on that very shortly. I'm going to show you something very shortly on how we first met, and I remember it more than you, obviously. But you're in the New York Times bestsellers list, and we've got the brand new book out at this moment in time. But I have got this. I've got Deal Me In, and I have it signed.
Nice.
Because I was in London at the World Series Poker Europe, and we did the book launch. And I remember we went into a pub on the corner of Leicester Square. Myself and Paul, who still works with us, and we got the book. And this was a new release when it came out, and we signed it off. And I thought, do you know what? Phil Hellmuth has just signed a book for me, and it's still pristine, by the way. It is pristine. It's got all the stories. My favourite story is the Devilfish story. I love these little books. But if you wasn't a poker player, and a very, very successful poker player, would writing and being an author be right up there of what you would be doing on a regular basis?
I mean, it's very interesting. You know, I mean, I think, you know, this is the first time in an interview I've ever said it, but I think I could have been a motivational speaker pretty easily. That aligns well with me, but you have to accomplish something, I think, to be able to motivationally speak to people, I think. And it's an easier path to get there. So, but I could easily have been a motivational speaker. I could easily have been a successful businessman. Yeah. And you know, could easily have been a promoter. So I don't really know where I'd be if it wasn't poker. But hopefully I would have written a book or two.
Well, that's there. That I was there when I was there with you, and it's signed for me by the great one. And then
book, it's like 50 hand of the weeks, and so you know you read each one at what takes 2 or 3 minutes to read the story. Just kind of a flavor of what it was like. Deal Me In now, as I look back, is a flavor of what it was like to be a professional poker player in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Because that book came out, what, in 05 or 06?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's impressive. Where did Poker Brat get coined? Who was the first person to call you the Poker Brat? Or was it yourself?
No, that was not me. That was Andy Glazer.
All right, okay.
So Andy Glazer was, you know, the all-star poker writer, right? And he, I mean, I have a funny story about how I met him. Should I tell it?
Yeah, of course.
So my wife and I choose a vacation, and we choose to go to a place called Esalen. Esalen's a very famous spiritual place. So we decide we're going to go study Buddhism with the master, the Lama Suryadas. Suryadas has become bigger and bigger and bigger in Buddhism and has lots of books out. So my wife and I go to Esalen for our vacation to study Buddhism. I'm like, hun, can't we go to like a 5-star hotel somewhere? So we drive down the California coast. We arrive at the most beautiful place you've ever seen. One of the houses is right underneath a waterfall. But they have the natural hot springs there, but you're not allowed to work.
The rest up. Okay, everyone else wants to be forward. You want to start behind? Everyone wants to sit down. I want to sat into the Is that way or that way? Yeah, cool. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, we've got Kieran in seat 1. Chris, you're in seat 2, please. Anthony, seat 3, please. Jesse, seat 4, please. GK, seat 5, Matt, seat 6. Jack, seat 7, please. Jamie, seat 8, please. And Midvidas, seat 9, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 500. Wait, no one else this.
Final table, 20 past 10. Have we done that before,
I
kiddo?
don't think we have. FT starting at 20 past 10. That is just unheard of. Final 9 players of the high roller. We're just about to get underway. I'm going to run you through who we have got. In 1, we have Kieran Duffy. 2, Chris Wood. 3, Anthony Hughes. 4, Jesse Chambers. 5, GK. 6, Matt Davenport. 7, Jack O'Neill. 8 is Jamie Lee. And in 9 is Minvidus Cursus.
Who wins it? Who do you know?
I know Matt Davenport.
Yeah.
I know Woody.
I've heard of Jack O'Neill for some reason. Don't know? Jack O'Neill? Jack O'Neill.
But Matt Davenport, Jamie Lee, Woody, I know all 3 of these regulars on the tour. I'm sure a lot of our viewers will be familiar.
Wasn't Anthony Hughes one of the early chip leaders in Goliath as well?
Could have been, I'm not sure.
Round of applause to the final tablists. Kieran Duffy's taking this home, says Nissa. I roll a final. 9 players playing down to the champion.
Let's have a look at Jack O'Neill. Someone in the chat saying he's got some big scores online. Oh, I do know Jack. I know the face. 1.1 milli in live earnings. No stranger to an FT.
Okay then.
Let's have a look. Biggest score live came 19th in the 25k in the Bahamas for 175k. That was the PSPC 3 years ago. 4th in a 1600 at the Venetian this year for 135k. Won a side event at EPT Barcelona for 114k.
As you do.
So no stranger to the felt.
Yaks 84, you won a ticket online. My friend won a ticket online for me, but I don't have an online account. What do we need to do for him to transfer the ticket to me, or can we do it at the casino? I'm guessing that would have to be done at the casino, wouldn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
It would have to be done at the casino. You both have to turn up. Your friend would have to say, this is the man I want to buy in. Can I please register him for Goliath?
Yeah, Jack's a very good player. I'm just looking now. He's got some results. I don't think we've seen much of him on the stream over the years, but definitely recognise the face. So straight into the action here. Kieran opening to 120 and Woody with the ace 10 out the way, letting this one go off of his stack size. Oh, is that GK from Edinburgh?
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
I know GK as well.
With deals in the drive. In 1 minute there will be a break. We are currently asking the stack at each table to please buy the 500 points.
You're like behind, going for the final break of the day.
To be bought in by the largest stack at the table. It will be raced off at this break. Thank you.
Kieran continuing here with the A6 suited for one big blind. And GK with the 6s versus this size, always going to be calling. And the fibre club's on the turn, so it does bring in nut flush draw here for Kieran. Potential double barrel candidate here. However, on this particular board might be a nice one to take a free one. We just start folding out like the up and down, the queen jack, some of the gut shots in there. and some pocket pairs that obviously are in front of us, but we're never getting a fold from a king or a 10, so we'll definitely get behind the decision of Kieran to check back the turn. It would have worked a double barrel, but GK's range is going to be very 10x and king x heavy, which we're not folding out first as a second bet. So GK gets the showdown with the sixes, which are good, taking the first pop.
3 mil for Kieran. We knew there's 2.1 and GK 2.1.
Yes, Logan, we are going to be streaming the final table for the Mystery Bounty.
Are we? When's that?
I think
Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, yeah? Wednesday.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, you miss it, yeah? You'll be doing Joker's Wild. Enjoy it. I'll be seeing all the envelopes open.
Oh, there's me saying what we need to do is make sure the envelopes are done on stream, and I'm not going to be there.
How are we doing, Morris? Morris Wigan, High Tower, coming down tomorrow. Do you know how many seats are available for tomorrow and what time does Reg open? You can reg as soon as you're in the casino. The earlier you get here, the better, Morris. Tower's just having a look now how many's been pre-regged already.
Yep. It's capped at 800, but I don't think we're there yet.
And it's Thursday for the Mystery Bounty. It's a free day, so you will be with me for the Mystery Bounty
sweet.
on Thursday. Thanks for that, Jay Ware.
590 registered for tomorrow so far, so not full. The first one that's not full yet. 590, so over 200 entries. So there'll be plenty of space to get in for tomorrow, I reckon, if you are relatively early.
Open from Kieran, raise and take. I'm going to see a lot of this from Kieran, or it's what I'd like to see, and it seems like he already understands that he's the player that can be opening the most here with the chip lead. Quite a substantial chip lead as well. 15 bigs on second place.
456 in the bounty so far.
Dean Piper. There won't be 10% of the field making day two. It's just not going to be possible with the turbo. Yes, we've had a flight where 9% have made it through, but on an original flight that is possible. But with the turbo it being so short, I think we're only going to get 20-25% of the field through, which is then obviously going to make the average bigger than 10%. Yeah, Logan, I think I just fired away in the $1 million bounty in Vegas. It was one where 3-4% were making it through at the end of the day, so it was very difficult to make day two. Unfortunately, I didn't bag for day two. Had countless bullets in it, but it was a very difficult comp to bag up in. Have to dodge so many bullets in that one. It's open. There's no time, Morris. You can reg whenever you're in the casino. There's no time on it. Mandy, still looking remarkably fresh after last night's epic, boys. Hope for your sake it's not another 8 hours. Best friend of Andy. Cheers, Mandy. Thanks for tuning in. And how are we doing, Cameron Brown? Travelled 4 hours to play today. Played for 3 hours, then travelled back home for 4 hours. It's decided to come last minute. Didn't get a hotel. Amazing setup and top class casino. Will definitely come back. Cheers, boys. Thank you. This FT, although we're starting it later than yesterday's, I'm going to make the call that we will finish earlier than yesterday because the chips in play here, it's a lot shallower at the FT than yesterday's event. Yes, Ali Law. With all our higher roll events now, there are time bank cards, so shot clock is in play just for our high roller events. We did try it in the GUKPTs, but then at Reading they were taken out. I'm guessing because it does favour the professional, if you like, time bank cards. They're going to be able to make the better decisions quickly. So I'm guessing we're just using them for the high rollers now, where it's going to be more reg heavy, the field. So in the high rollers you'll see the shot clock still. In the normal events it will just be as normal.
Woody with the Kings, raising to 130.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a mistake here from Jesse, choosing to free bet the deuces here off of this stack size. We're sitting here with 18 big blinds. We've got a couple of stacks in terms of Jamie and Jack, who are fairly short, so obviously with the ladders there, but no blockers in here with the deuces. It's just, I don't even think we should be calling the deuces off of this stack size. I think it's just going to be a fold, but Jesse here just deciding to bump this one up, and Woody here, we're not going to get tricky. We're just going to move in here with the pocket kings facing this free bet. No need to get tricky on this occasion. There are scenarios where we can flat our monsters, but this isn't going to be one of them. Should just be moving all in. And there's the all in and a quick fold from Jesse. Fair enough to Jesse, knowing exactly what he was doing here, faced with a shove. But that free bet there maybe just a little bit too wild. And Woody straight in with the punishment. Did have the goods though with the kings. Tomorrow's schedule, man of straw. It is a Goliath day all day long, I believe, isn't it?
I think it is.
Yeah, so we're going to be in, depending on what time this finishes. If this finishes at 2 or later, we'll probably be in at 2:30 again, missing the first session. So we will then come in and we will be doing commentary on the Goliath main event all day long. So if that's what you want to see, £150 buy-in coverage. That's what's going to be on stream tomorrow. As well as a couple of giveaways tomorrow. While we're doing the Goliath, we'll probably give away 2 closer tickets. So
yes,
make sure you tune in throughout not to miss one of those.
Yeah, full day of Goliath tomorrow. That is what it is. Wednesday, Goliath. And Goliath on Wednesday as well, because Joker's Wild's on at 6. And then Thursday, Goliath and the Bounty, day 3. Friday, 2 turbos. Saturday, Goliath, day 2. And Sunday, Goliath, day 3.
Oh, I'm not sure, Donna. This morning, what I always do, I look at the structure, I look at the chips in play, and then I just make an approximation of what time I think it's going to finish. And this morning I said between 1 and 2. That's what I was guessing. Around 1 and 2, I think is where the finish time's going to be. But we will see. We will see. This is a lot shallower. Although we've started the final table 4 hours later than we did yesterday, the chips in play and what the big blind is, it's a lot shallower than yesterday's 1K, which is obviously a defining factor. Like for example here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, well nearly 7, 6, 7 stacks, all with 30 bigs or less. So it's a lot more shallow, like we saw yesterday. Jack had 150 bigs at one point, and Francis had like 90. It was so deep yesterday's 1K. So I'm hoping it will be somewhere between 1 and 2. So Jesse, he's got the ducks again. This time playing them in a different manner.
There's 5 Jack, 2 diamonds.
Sean, I'll run you through what each player started the final with after this hand. Yeah, daft the clock, Nicky. Make it right.
It's good to have a lot of variation with the Goliath being such a massive festival now, though. Love the 1K. Everybody who was involved with the 1K yesterday on the rail all watched it back this morning.
Great.
It was just one of the best final tables I think we've ever done. The rail at 3 o'clock in the morning was bonkers.
So chip counts to the final. I'm not sure. No, PK didn't put them in there. So I'll run you through. Kieran Duffy.
Well, they should be underneath every player when they're in the hand. To be fair, so
Kieran started with 3.15 million. Chris Wood had 1.57. Anthony Hughes had 1.6 million. Jesse Chambers had 1.15. GK had 1.8 million. Matt Davenport had 1.075 million. Jack O'Neill had 700k. Jamie Lee with 825 and Minvidus Cursus with 2.1 million, and they were the stack sizes to start. So Jesse Queen Jack suited here, 11 bigs, short stack at the table. Not going to take the shove spot. Him and Jamie very similar in stacks. So Jack here with the ace deuce suited, working with 17 big blinds here. Nice one to open once folded to us in the cutoff. It looks like he's made it 120, just a click. Jamie with the king eight suited here. Just going to fold here as Jamie, I hope. There we go.
5-4 should do the same.
Yeah, remember this, we need to put a V where that U is. Slight little typo there. And Kieran's not going to defend this one.
Under the gun 1.6. Ant raises to 200,000. King Queen off. All folding round in turn.
Yeah, and Jamie's got an easy shove with the ace queen. This should be going in tower. Blinds are now up as well, just moved to the 40k, 80k level, so
Yeah.
stacks become even shallower. So Jamie should be
Yeah,
moving
they're
in.
in, as you predict.
And it's an 8 big blind shove. But it's a big proportion, it's nearly half of Anthony's stack here, and he'll probably know that Jamie's not doing this light, basically hoping to see a hand like 8s, 9s, 10s or jacks
Yeah.
to be in a flip situation.
All in for 675.
I personally still fold the king queen on
Oh, he
this
hasn't.
price.
Anthony's made the call.
Well, he does make the call, and Jamie set for a double up. Just gonna need to fade a king at the moment.
All in and call in the high roller. We have Jim all in with
143 runners. Cheers, Mick the Mod in this one. So Jamie, the player at risk, fading kings to survive.
224. Clean as you like.
Yeah, no runners here, tower. So just the king to fade on turn or river, and Jamie will get the double up.
No, he does. Just need to fade a king.
Forward chop.
Oh, 4 to chop it. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, it is a king of
Where did
clubs.
that come from?
Oh my word, I just didn't even expect that. How unfortunate for Jamie. Where has that king come from? Ouch.
Ouch.
You think you're there and Anthony just finds the king ball on the end. Must be nice, and puts himself in second
You know when
in
you're
chips.
all in front on this feature table this week?
Yeah, it's no good. You need the worst hand, Tower. You need the worst hand this week.
Wowzers.
Never easy, this game. Never easy. One card away from a big double.
Just, wow. Very unlucky, Jamie. Minvidas. Raminta. Raminta. Go, Minvidas. Yeah, it was right on the cusp of a call, wasn't it? You said it was a fold.
I just think with our stack size at the
Oh,
table,
was that his stack size dependent rather than gambling with a king queen?
the thing is, we're getting a really nice price. I understand that, and I just think at this final table, if we double Jamie up there, and the thing is, we're basically hoping to see 8s, 9s, 10s, or jacks. That's all we're hoping to see. Jamie's probably not going to shove ace jack, ace 10 versus the gun open once he makes it 2.5x,
Yeah.
knowing that his opponent's probably not folding too often, but it's a close one. It is a close one, but I think when we are on a final table, it's a lot different to a different stage of the tournament. When we're close to decent money, our equity within the prize pool is a lot more substantial. Like every chip is worth some money.
Yeah. Shazza, how you doing, Shaz? What's the blind structure for the turbos on the Friday? If you've got the app, you can check it at your leisure, but the structure is exactly the same, but on a quicker clock. The turbo is a turbo a 20-minute clock, Paul?
Yeah, 20 minutes throughout.
20 minutes throughout for the turbo. So the structure will be 111, 122, 133, 244, then a break. Exactly the same structure as the other flights, but on a 20-minute clock and not a 30-stroke 40-minute clock. Finish at the end of level number 16.
We got Kieran.
20-minute clock, 16 levels, Gary, for the Goliath. 16, not 12.
Kieran opening the jacks, and Jesse, even off of this stack size, happy to defend the 10-9 suited, trying to catch a piece to go with, and has caught a 10 hit. And Kieran continuing here with the jacks for one big blind. Seen this twice here from now, Kieran. Opted for one big blind bet on both occasions. 80 into 440, so it's south of 20%. Really small size and choice both times. 8 of hearts on the turn, not changing a thing here. But the SPR Jesse's working with here is tiny. Was it like 0.6? 60% behind. And over to Kieran here. We may make the assumption that Jesse's just going to rip a lot of his ace-x hands on the flop. He might make that assumption, and if that's the case, he may just set him in here, Tower, trying to get called by a 10 or charge a potential club draw out there. Oh, then Tom Dunning played first ever Goliath this year, loved it all, though didn't make it through, but we'll be back at the end of the week. Well, better luck at the end of the week.
Tom. Glad you enjoyed the experience of the best tournament there is. Jesse is down to 4 bigs.
Yeah, and time for Kieran to go to town, perhaps on a few of the middling stacks.
Yeah.
Minvidus is in a horrible seat, Tower. Really bad seat for him with his stack size. Like, he needs to play really tight with Kieran on his direct left here.
Players in the Goliath, you have a new blind level, small blind 2,000, big blind 5,000 and 5,000, big blind empty.
So the last couple of levels of Goliath you can hear in the background as well. We're now who's banged the gong that time? Flipping out my eardrums. 170 runners at the start of the last session of Goliath Day 1C. 1,431. 1431.
So Minvidus opening the A7 Os from +2, and I think this is a mistake, Tower. As I just said, we need to play so much tighter here with our stack size because of Kieran having us covered on our direct left, and we need to be opening so much tighter here, and GK just shoving the ace-king here for just sub 25, 24 big blinds, which is fine from GK, perfectly fine with this hand. But Minvidus needs to be aware that can't be opening this wide, and I'm not sure why we're tanking here with A7 off. There's the fold eventually. Use the 30 seconds on the time bank.
Time bank's in play for the final.
Like Anthony, GK, Minvidus, even Woody. Woody's got a nice seat draw sitting there with Kieran, so he can start opening when Kieran isn't in the pot and it folds to him, but they're all on these sort of stack sizes, these middling stack sizes, and you got a 4 big and an 11 big stack at the table. And the pay jumps are coming across the bottom, playing for £61,750.
What time can you buy your ticket for the Turbo on Friday morning? If you're going to the club for the first time on Friday morning and you can't get before 10 AM, the Turbo buy-ins will start in the club. I will be here early-ish, I must admit.
How are we doing, Brad? Back at the hotel now, so watching the stream. Should have stayed there on the rail.
Yeah, should have played a bit of cash, Brad. Stayed and enjoyed it. That's what you should have done. But if you can get down before Stephen, or you know anybody that can buy you in, I'd do that for Friday just to avoid the queues. That's what I would do if you can do that. Can't buy in at any other clubs. It is just Coventry now.
What time does late registration close for the second Turbo on Friday? Ask Bernie. So it'll be the end of level 8. So, what is it, 15-minute clock on the Turbo? 20-minute clock. So if it's the end of level 8, what's that, an hour? 2 hours, 2:40 plus the break. I'm guessing around 9 PM. Around the 9 PM mark is probably when it's going to close, Bernie.
Huh. Got something new on me there, Steve. We start at 11 on Friday. I didn't realise the Turbos started at 11. The Turbos start at 11. Okay.
No bar for us Thursday night.
I didn't realise that. I've just checked the app and you're absolutely bob on. Turbo start at 11 and at 6. Thanks for that.
K Jackin, this is the final table, so if you don't see him there, he's not in. If
That is correct.
Yeah. If he's not there, he's not in. Queen 10-7 is the flop here. Nice one to incorporate some checks in as Kieran here with the King 10. Middle pair. Nice hand to have some checks some of the time. I like the decision from Kieran to choose to check this one. Just means we can comfortably call turn leads as well from our opponent. Sometimes we induce as well. But Jack here now with top pair. After flop's gone check, check. Probably going to lead. Double flush draw board here, so might even go for the big bet. Might go for like the 320 kind of size, 3/4, something like that. 300k, 2/3. Well, goes for the monster bet. Doesn't even go for the big bet. He goes for the lot. He goes for the 2x pot rip here, knowing that he can credibly represent a whole host of bluffs here. There's so many combo draws out there. Hands like the 8-9 of diamonds, 8-9 of hearts, Jack-9 of diamonds, Jack-9 of hearts, 4-6 of diamonds, 4-6 of hearts, 5x of hearts, 7x of hearts, 10x of diamonds. There's literally so many bluffs that we can have on this board as Jack. So just going for this size here, finds the, it's like 220% shove here on the turn. I actually love this the more I think about it. Once Kieran checks back flop, making the assumption that this is a brick and we are going to have the best hand. Sometimes we'll run into fives and get snapped, but once he checks back flop, really trying to get the hero here from some 10x, some jacks, hands like that. What a shove this is. This is a meaty shove. And Kieran does make the fold there. So went for the lot there, Jack, with the Queen Jack. Wasn't expecting to see it, but when he could credibly rep so many hands that were combo draws on that board, I guess that's what he was thinking. Trying to get Kieran to hero off with a 10 potentially that would check back flop high frequency, because he can have plenty of bluffs, and maybe Kieran never expects him to choose that size with one pair for value, so his value range maybe becomes more condensed from Kieran's perspective. But that was some hefty jam there.
As it's an 11 o'clock start, would Reg be earlier than normal in the club? So I'm guessing that'd be 9 o'clock then, wouldn't it?
Last gym, but I think so.
Yeah. We're guessing it'd be 9 o'clock, Stephen. You're absolutely right. I didn't realise it was an 11 o'clock start. I'd have turned up late. I'd have turned up late. I'd have been saying good morning, everybody. They'd all been sat down playing.
We're doing 20 poker raiding with a party of 70 people on Twitch. Thank you very much, Neil. Thank you very much. We got the mugs here as well. We got the mugs you got us a few years ago. We've been having tea all day long. A big thank you for the raid. If you are just tuning in, guys, this is the high roller here at the Goliath.
It is indeed.
£1,500 plus the juice by him. This is the final 8 players playing for £61,750. Would be great if you did want to stick with us. It's going to be a long one. We only kicked off about half hour ago, but going to be a very exciting night like yesterday, we hope, as Jesse is all in the hijack for his last just sub 4 big blinds, and Woody with the ace king obviously never folding. So Jesse going to need help to survive here. The second all in and a call.
Indeed it. Woody 1.7. Looks like increasing it. Look at that. I don't know, 10 of spades is going in his hands, so doesn't make a difference. Still one of the 10s.
Chop outs. More chop outs.
Yep.
Any 4, any 3, any deuce. There isn't a spade or a 10. for the outright, and it is a deuce.
Chop it up.
So he will survive. And Jesse lives to fight another day. A little extra big blind for his troubles there.
Survived. This rail's very quiet compared to last night.
The thing is, last night's final table was literally like we just we hand-picked it, Tara.
One
honestly.
of the best 1Ks you could have, like Jay's just said, you could handpick the final 9. It was an amazing final.
Like every single player on it was well known, like, and for one reason or another, whether they be a crusher and got millions of pounds in the bank from poker, or whether just the entertainment factor of who they are and their persona at the table. It was one hell of a final table, and don't forget you can find that on YouTube /GUKPT. All your live stream coverage on Twitch as well, twitch.tv /GUKPT. And for other socials, guys, if you do want to give us a follow on Facebook and Twitter, it's at Grosvenor Poker. This was 1500 plus 150 Darwin buying for this one. 143 runners. As we see Woody open here under the gun, making it 200k into the big blind of the chip leader, who is Kieran.
Nigel Quelch was chip leader in Goliath, coming up to the last break. 700k.
Kieran going nowhere here with the 8-9 of hearts. Lovely one to look down at when you're in the big blind. King, Queen, 5, rainbow. So should be check, bet, fold. Woody can go around third, small bet on this board, double Broadway, rainbow. Should be small bet here from Woody. And goes exactly third, well just over 175.
Good night and good morning. Nice one, Gary. Have a good day at work down in Australia. How long are you there for, by the way? I heard there's a shot clock on day 3 of Goliath.
Correct.
This is true. Oh, he's in Melbourne and he's back on Friday, is Gary. Nice one, Gary. Nice little trip out to Melbourne as it's just coming out of winter.
What happened to Tim?
Tim?
How did Tim Chung bust? He had chunks.
Pass.
Yeah, I don't know either.
No, we've only just got to the final table of the high roller. We've not been covering it all day long.
Yeah.
99k to start the lesson starting.
Yeah, Tim busted a good 8 hours ago.
Yeah. Don't forget the starting stake for this event was 100,000. So we didn't have any information regarding hands, but we got the eliminations during the day, and we got to the final table at 20 past 10. Nice one, Ross. Ross Griffiths loving the live streams, watching on YouTube.
Yeah, wrong high roller, Roland.
Yes. That's the last high roll. That's the last
Luton.
event in Luton, wasn't it?
Yeah, high roller in Luton.
That was a high roller in Luton. This is the high roller at Goliath. I don't know if you're watching the right stream, Roland.
This is a 2-day event, Ali Law. Day 1 was yesterday. This is day 2, or the final date, whatever you want to call it. I think next year, though, we are going to have to look at some day 3 possibilities. Like, it would have been perfect. Come back today. They've been playing 9 hours.
Yeah.
And then break, come back for the final tomorrow. Like, they've been playing 9 hours, and we're chucking them on an FT now, playing for £61,000. It's this game is tiring when you're playing for a long time. It can really tire you out, and fatigue is a thing. And at this stage of the day, you may not make your best decisions because of fatigue. And I think when you're playing for this amount of money, when you've been playing 9 hours already, chucking them on a final and not saying come back tomorrow, it's something that needs to be looked at for next year, definitely. Just in the players' interest. Yeah, plus me and Tal need some sleep, exactly that.
Absolutely. Sleep. Sleep.
How we doing, Raz? I can't play this year, living cough, and I've had to pick paying my gas and electric over poker this year. Well, you can always try and satellite in for next year, when we will be back in 2023. And we got an all in the call here because Jesse finds a pair with his last 4 bigs.
Well, Jesse's behind again. And they chopped the last one.
Too well to chop this one from here.
Can't see this one being chopped.
So a 5 is needed, and it's a 9 of spades. So we do lose Jesse Chambers in 8th place for 5,750. All remaining 7 players now with £6,800 locked.
Can I see the remotes? They're brilliant. Oh, 20, they're fantastic.
We still need a new one for me. That avatar needs to be changed.
They keep asking every week. Oh, they're brilliant. Nice one. £5,750 for Jesse. We're down to 7.
Pocket 5s for Kieran in the hijack with the chips. Going to be opening. Makes it 160. Them emojis on Twitch. The emotes.
They're brilliant, them.
So GK and the big blind shouldn't be defending this one tower. Yes, we can defend very wide, but I think this is a bit too out of line here. Like, Kieran's the only player at the table that's got us covered. Like, it would just be a disaster for us to bust in this one. What is GK up to, tower? He's just clicked this back with Jack 6 off. Is this right? This cannot be right. I'm just going back to watch the hand, see if a different card was pitched into GK's box.
One, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, to be fair.
Yeah, but even if he hasn't got Jack 6 off and he's got Jacks, for example, what are we up to with the sizing pre? I have no idea. This is really bizarre, tower.
Well, it looks like it's going to work.
Kieran now goes for the big bet, goes for the 400k into 580, 2/3 from GK, and does get the job done, but that is well out of line from that man. I'm guessing he couldn't have had Jack 6 off, surely, but the sizing pre as well, what's that about? I have no explanation for that one, guys. That was yeah, he said, oh yeah, what about Jack? He did say he was coming down. He might have come down the escalator, saw the bar, and saw who was at the bar and said, you know what, I'm going to stay here. Right, let's have a look. I'm just watching now if a different card could have been somehow pitched into GK's box. And let's find out if he really did have the Jack 6 off. Nothing even went close to it.
No.
That is the weirdest hand ever, tower.
The layer's 7 this time. And 3 million chips.
There in the small blind. Just moving all in, setting Matt Davenport in. And Matt out of the way with the Jack 5, won't be calling with that. Let me see if he's still watching on Twitch, old Jack. He might be on his way down.
Out come the cards here again. Is Trig going to be doing any comms this week? I know he's been playing. He played the high roll this week. I know he played the high roll and played the 1K as well.
The pros always do some comms with the Goliath, literally. Where's Andy Hills this week?
No.
Andy Hills.
Not seen any other members, seen none of the online team today at all. None of them. They said they were coming in to do some comms. They maybe all took a day off midweek, thought it was a bank holiday Monday, we're taking the day off. Maybe that was it. Not seen Katie apart from the ladies, which was a fantastic event. Well done, Katie, for that.
Yeah, Matt's going to shove here, blind on blind. Easy shove with the 8s, lovely one to look down to, and Jack has to call the A7. And Matt has the best of it. The feature table this week, that doesn't mean anything. Going in with the best hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Davenport has gone all in pre-flop, holding pocket 8. So
8 against A7 from Jack.
By Jack with Ace-7 off.
So our National League leader, Matt Davenport, in great shape to get a double hit. And a great start.
So there's 10, 4, 6,
Yep.
rainbow.
Blocking them running straights as well with the 8s, which is nice. So just fading the ace. Well, that is a great card for the A7. He now hit an 8-3 or ace from space on the river. Matt Davenport out in 7th place, £6,800. What a river card. It happened with Jamie as well. This best hand malarkey tower. It's not good.
Do not go all in with the best hand. It's exactly the same as the last 2 days. So. So well done, Matt. £6,800, Matt Davenport. These are points for the MPL, aren't they?
Yep.
So more points for Matt Davenport in the MPL. Well done, sir.
And Kieran under the gump, 6-handed now with the chip. Actually, I think GK's now chip lead up. But 6-handed should still be opening this one, Kieran, with his stack size.
The chip leader in the Goliath at the moment is Ryan Gibb on 860,000 chips.
Is there any stamp on this thing? Just wanted to make sure the box says the next round of 500.
Cheers, Pesky. Off to bed. Don't forget, catch up tomorrow if you want to on YouTube or on Twitch.
Here he is,
The champ's in town.
the double champ, the double champ.
The commentary essentials.
Well, you got your laptop as
You
well.
need a plate.
yeah.
You need a plate and a spoon.
Can't use the green screen, you got green on.
Oh yeah, that's
Will I actually?
You disappear.
That's unreal.
That's amazing. You disappear.
That's incredible.
Come and sit
Oh
down.
my god, I love that. That's insane.
We'll show you Jack Devon.
Yeah,
we'll show you those here, shall
yeah.
we? Ladies and gentlemen.
I've ascended into a higher form after winning the last time.
Jack Arkell. Green on green does not work, unfortunately. There you go,
If you
sir.
want to move that, Jack, just move it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'll save it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Got you. Quick.
How are we doing?
Okay, we're going to do half an hour off, half an hour on, because at the moment we're 7-handed. We never know. This might be a sharpish one.
I'm going to get some food.
So we're going to get some food. We'll have half an hour. Jay's going to come back in half an hour, and then we'll swap over, and then we'll finish off together. I heard you bought in for day 2.
Yes.
How?
That's a
Like-
good question. Because I didn't go to bed until 8 a.m. But
And you still managed to come down the escalators
Yeah.
to flick it in.
so yeah, I'm sharing a house with Dan Gormley, and he basically knocked on the door. I was like barely conscious. He was
Yeah.
like, "Jack, are you coming down to play the 1650?" I was like, "I mean, I guess so. Like I'm awake now." I didn't feel too great, but yeah, I did flick it in and then busted and went back to bed.
No, that's fair enough. Saw you one stumbling down the escalator this morning. I thought he's late
Yeah.
for his day 2. Congratulations, man.
Thank you very much.
That was an insane final to watch. It
yeah,
really
it
was.
was pretty wild the whole way, really.
And then obviously when we were only facing a guy with 200k out of the near 11 million chips, and then it comes back, swings the other way completely, and then you're all in, and then it flicks it round again completely. It was just an insane final.
Yeah, it was a proper slog. Yeah, and it lasted like 2 or 3 hours.
It
Right?
did, yeah, just over 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a mad one. But good that the rail stayed. All the lads both players have got fans on either side.
It was
really
pretty
good.
high morale. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was very good. So, how does that increase the ratio now? It's not 1 of 42 anymore, or 2 of 46. Or how are we standing at the moment? You had a dry.
Oh,
you had a dry period.
That's long forgotten.
That's all right.
We're all good.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Is this the?
This is the FT.
Oh, the high roller.
Yeah, this is the high roller FT.
I don't think I recognise anyone.
So we've got.
Okay, I recognise Jack.
Yeah, Jack O'Neill, Chris Wood, Minvidus in seat number 9. He's from Portsmouth, I do believe, isn't he? Minvidus.
Is he?
I do believe he is.
I've no idea, to be honest.
I do believe he is. Let's just have a quick scan.
Oh, Davenport or something.
Matt's just.
He just busted.
Matt's just bust. So, Kieran Duffy, Chris Wood, Anthony Hughes, GK, who unfortunately is a GDPR. Jack O'Neill and Matt Davenport's gone. Jesse went, and Jamie Lee was on the final table as well. So, number 15 got the money. Mad Turk cashed again. Did you have a word with Mad Turk after the final? Did he get a chance to have a chat?
We very briefly spoke sort of as he busted.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was an interesting one. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think he was just a bit tilted. He had his 5 minutes and then he calmed down.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Cashed again, did Mad Turk today?
He does. Yeah, that was like partially the reason why I found it funny though, is because go back to the grand final, he gets the 70k ladder from me busting third. So you'd think like it would just be very swings and roundabouts.
Absolutely,
like, but yeah.
Probably long forgotten, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's still up on me lifetime. You know? He's still doing all right.
You're catching a lot of people up, I tell you. You really are. I think you're third on the list now of GUKPT cashes. I'm pretty sure you are. Like Jay said earlier on, I'm pretty sure you're.
That I leapfrogged a few people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're third now. And to be fair, you've got years on a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, probably by quite a few years.
Absolutely, yeah, cashing in these bigger, especially the turnouts as well. Now they've increased so much. Probably the prize pools are a lot bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I think 5 FTs now, but like none of them have been smaller than like 400 runners. I think. Reading was maybe like 380.
Yeah. Leeds has increased to a 1k now as well.
I did see it's got its own high roller as well.
And a high roller, yes.
Yeah,
there's a mystery bounty on the first weekend. There's a mini. And then they've got the high roller and the main. So the main's a 1k, same as the 1k that you won. 900 plus the juice.
Yeah, Leeds is just great as well.
Yeah.
I had such a good time there last year. Can't wait to go back. I think Leeds might actually be the best stop on.
You like Leeds that much?
It might be an unpopular opinion, but I think
I
think it is.
If you like a night out, it's a good night out, and it's a great card room, and they get the numbers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that must be the reason why they bumped it, right? Cause
and it wasn't just the GUKPT that was saying it. It was also the GM and the card room manager that wanted the 1k, and he said, "Can we have a high roller and try it?" So they said, "Yeah, why not?"
Nice.
So
I hope that
the card room are showing a little bit now. So fingers crossed for the high roller in Leeds in 4 weeks' time. Do we ever come to Manchester for GUKPT? Yes, we do. Earlier this year, I think it was March, we were in Manchester at Berry New Road. We're there every year. It's been a stop on the tour for years, as Berry New Road in Manchester.
lovely surroundings to that.
What, a 12-foot fence?
A leisurely stroll back and forth from the hotel down Berry New Road.
Yeah. Well, there were talks of Didsbury getting involved, which is the other side, which is the other side of Manchester. So it's just so popular. The numbers are really good on it in Manchester. A lot of people turn out for it, and you never worry about the numbers in Manchester.
No, it always does well.
How's the bounty going? Loads of runners. Let's have a quick look on the app. We'll look on the app for the bounty. 22 cash tables running. Not that much. Mystery bounty. 473 total. 252 today. And 160 left. Price pool just short of £100,000 and £200 into the bounty pool. And there's a day 1C tomorrow for that. Day 1C of the bounty starts at 7. So that should increase. What we're on now? 473. Could he top 700 runners, 730 runners, something like that for a bounty?
There's one more day tomorrow, right?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I was debating flicking that in tomorrow, I think.
It's all in.
What time did you get to bed?
It was, what time did we leave here? 4:45ish. Had a drink. Had 2. You left and then went upstairs. And I think we just followed.
Oh, I've got a story, but I probably can't. So.
If it's a story that's...
I shall tell you later.
I was going to say that there's a hoodie over there so we could see you, but the hoodie's nearly green as well.
I quite like this, just being ahead.
Just being ahead.
I like it. And the white 3-stripe outline. That's, yeah.
Yeah, it's Hiya Shaz on Facebook. Info about the turbo. It's because with the app you can't have two different times within the same flight. So the 20 minutes and then the 40 minutes. I'm pretty sure it's 20 minutes. 20 minutes all the way through the turbo, Shaz. From start to finish. Are you flicking it in the Goliath?
I don't know.
Are you just gonna have one? What? Just flicking in once?
I mean, I do need to make a donation.
Just do one.
Field,
Just do one. Pick one of the quieter days.
Are there any quieter days?
Not really.
No.
But you're probably doing the bounty tomorrow.
Yeah, bounty tomorrow is, I think, much more appealing.
Yeah.
At this point. Yeah, I don't know.
Drinks up at 4 p.m. Spot a lunch. Bounty.
I mean, I could do like a max late reg of the Goliath into the mystery bounty. It's possible.
I think we're expecting to hit the £1 million prize pool on Thursday.
Is it?
I reckon.
Is it going to get more or less than the last time?
It
that
should.
was like 9,000, wasn't it?
9,300 runners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number of runners is up on the first 3 days from last year by about 500.
Right. Okay.
There's more uniques this year than there were in 2019. So all the trends seem to be going for over 10,000 runners, which will be fantastic for the event. So if there's like, say, the 11,000, you're looking at 1.2, 1.3 for the prize pool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That.
It is very good. Any plans for September? As we're in September in a couple of days?
Online, really.
Yeah?
Yeah, big online series.
All right, okay.
I'm actually going to play online again. It's been a while. It feels like just loads of live stops over and over.
Yeah.
But, yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, you were in Barca, weren't you?
Barca was really fun. But lost quite a bit there. But yeah, so it's like I'll probably end up just being at home for a month. Well, at least until Leeds, and then do the whole of Leeds.
Awesome. Thursday is still capped at 800 at the moment. 200 seats available from 10 a.m. in the club. That is correct. If the cap increases, we will let you know.
The cap should get bigger now that there's not a 1K running, right?
Yeah. We had obviously with the there were over 200 runners for the day too, which was mad.
Yeah,
Really,
the 10-handed GUKPT.
Yeah, just one of those
Quite
things that
something.
had to be, unfortunately. The amount of runners that came back for day 2. It was like this morning for this event. Like there were 24 day 2 buy-ins at 10 bigs. 24.
Yeah.
It doubled the size of the field.
Yeah, it is.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I've not seen one of the high rollers get as big as that.
No.
I mean, that's kind of like it's bigger than what GUKPTs used to be,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, it was weird. You see 26 runners, then all of a sudden you see 36, 46. You know, end up with over 50 for day 2, and you think, where do they all come from?
Yeah.
They don't know. They do realise it's 10 bigs. Yep, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
10's enough.
Quite a shallow final table.
Yes.
I've seen a few opens that probably shouldn't be opens, considering how tight it
We've
is.
seen a couple of calls that shouldn't be calls either, but it is one of those. Did you get a chance to speak to DD?
We spoke a little bit throughout today. But
He was online all night last night, obviously.
He told me we were going to have a run through of the stream just to have a look at some of the comments that were made back and forth. Apparently it was quite entertaining.
No, it was funny. It was funny. There were a couple of lines that just made us laugh, thinking some people might not know who you are or what are you number 2 GPI?
Three now.
Number 3.
Yeah,
number
I'm
3.
slipping. I might be 2 again, but I might be 2 again by Wednesday when they update it.
Yeah.
But.
And they were saying he was just doing the one-liners. I thought it was so dry and funny. Really good.
Yeah, that's his style for sure.
So this is the high roller final. We are down to the final 6. Matt Davenport in 7th, Jesse in 8th, and Jamie Lee in 9th.
Davenport needs to just go on holiday, doesn't he?
He's
got enough points. Why is he grinding all of this?
He has enough points. And
he's ahead by like 200 or something.
And obviously it changes. Obviously it changed this year by having to cash to get the points.
Yeah.
And not just
he's
turning
had
up
a really
somewhere.
good year. He's just cashing everything.
Yeah, he has. He's had a cracking year. So GK 3.8 mil.
Yeah.
Kieran 3.4.
Yeah, here you are nerding up, commentating on a poker stream. I mean, yeah, guilty as charged, really.
Absolutely. Loves it.
Yeah, no, I came in. I needed to repay Tower and Jay for keeping them up so late last night. So.
It was a great stream, and honestly, the figures, the numbers that were watching, and the people on the rail, it was just like it could have been 8 p.m.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
It was raucous.
And yeah, it could have been done 90 minutes earlier, and it was just one of those days. How much studying do you do, and what sources do you use, says Stephen 12?
So I used to be useless with it for quite some time, but I've been using DTO quite a lot recently. It's definitely just the best thing out there right now, and it's really tough. So
right, okay.
Yeah, Dominic's app.
Where's Dominic not here? Is he away? Where is he?
I don't know. I think he's got something else on.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like a bunch of the sold pre-flop charts are pretty good, and then like DTO, and that gets you 90% of the way, to be honest, these days.
How many points awarded for winning Goliath for the NPL? It all depends on the number of runners.
We checked this actually.
I wouldn't actually know, to be fair.
It was just over 100.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right, nice one. Just over 100 points. That'd move you into the top 20, wouldn't it? It'd move you up there, wouldn't it?
Apparently I'm 9th now.
9th?
Apparently. But then it's like maintaining the 10k is really good, but there's just no point chasing Matt, because he's so far ahead. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah, just let the rest of the season take its course, and if you're there, you're there.
What code can we use? I'm afraid you're going to have to just give Dominic more money.
Brilliant.
Carry on.
Brilliant. You can take it off.
Take that off.
No, you can take it off. You can actually just, while we're green on green, you can actually just take it off.
What's first?
All right.
Me being a floating head or me being topless in this stream?
Well, that's it. We'll put it out there. If you want to see Jack in the comms with the comms come on, do you want him topless or would you like him?
I'll go topless if you go topless.
Did you back yourself at 16s? I'm probably guessing not.
I was in bed.
Yes. It was a big price though, for a name like yourself.
I mean, I still think 16's not great. To be honest, like to be.
I think
frank,
they were a little bit scared of Andy Wilson, weren't they? Andy was favourite at 10s.
Yeah, but what they forgot is Andy Wilson doesn't win live tournaments.
No.
You know, he's a perennial 10th place finisher. You got to back the winners.
That's true.
Nah, Andy's obviously the best player in the field. Like no denying that. But
well, you were backed him from 16s to 7s, so there were quite a few people. I think you were the biggest back person there was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean there were a couple of good prices, like a couple not so good. Like Andy and myself were just awful bets by the end, like both at 7s. Like, nothing there. But then Conor O'Rourke was like a pretty good price. He was like not very known in this field, I think, but he's like a decent online reg. He's doing quite well. He's coached by one of my friends, so he was a good price. There was a couple others. But yeah, basically, if anyone's got any name value, don't bet on them.
No,
it's kind of the rule in these.
So Jack Hardcastle winning the 1K in Coventry. Super amount of runners as well, wasn't it? Just one short of 550 runners, just absolutely incredible.
16s was a very good price. I mean, it's better than what I thought it would be at the start, but you've got to realise that 24 players left, I'm slightly under average. So I have to still win it quite a lot from there. It's pretty tough to do.
Kieran C1 raising to 200,000 with the blinds at 5,100. And Woody in the cut-off.
Be interesting to see what the stack setup is here, because
there's 3.2 Kieran, 1.8 Woody. Woody's all
yeah.
in
If there's anyone shorter behind, it gets pretty awkward with the ace jack. I guess if they all cover, it's definitely reasonable.
Yeah, and it's not fold from Kieran. Final table for the high roller. 6 players left. 7th was Matt Davenport. Jesse was 8th, and Jamie Lee was 9th.
I'll show you this photo. This has been cropped from the winner's photo last night, obviously because I got Andy.
I'm gonna need these. Let me tell you.
Because I can't show that to the stream, but
brilliant. He's a top lad, is Andy.
Yeah, he's great.
He's a top lad.
Seriously good at poker as well.
Is it all about studying and just putting it into practice?
Pretty much. I mean, he is the example of that, really. Like, he just put in so much work over lockdown.
Yeah.
He just is one of the best right now. I mean, like, not even UK. So
awesome. Matter of time before a huge score.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that he's not had a big live score already.
Aye.
Mate,
can you just borrow him his jaw jumper so we can actually show the?
No. Look at. Can we turn this on?
Absolutely.
Look at this.
We got the champion from the NPL there.
Look at that. I'm a pointing head.
You and Nicholas.
I'll pop down.
Can you actually remember coming in the casino today to play? You look worse for wear.
Yeah, you did look
like
fresh.
rather a lot. You feel fresher now?
Yeah, I had a nice nap this afternoon.
I had to have that nap. I was dying.
So, how's the FT go?
Really good. Yeah, it's got a bit shallow, so we lost 3 straight away.
Players in the mystery battle, you have 3 minutes remaining of your break.
Time bank being used at the minute by Minvinus. King 9 calling. After raising C1 from Kieran. Queen 7-7.
Please find them in bet, please. This would make my final table experience if 100,000 goes in.
Well, I checked.
Oh no, sorry, I mean
Kieran, that's exactly what he's done.
Hey, you'll have to see it. What?
That's a green hoodie.
Different. That's not green.
What colour's that? Right, put that on. Try on.
I'm not wearing that unless you pay me. I'm not doing it.
I'll pay you in cake.
In cake.
Would you like it? Well, you must like a dessert.
I do.
Do you like chocolate?
Yes.
Right, I'm gonna get you a chocolate dessert. Whip that
Lovely.
on.
All right. Okay.
Need some of Brad's.
Sit there.
Let's try it out.
God, I might be a bit snug with this. I'll be a bit.
You wanna try it on?
I'll try.
There's remaining in the mystery bounty. You have 1 minute remaining on your break. This is your final call to retake your seats. Last mystery bounty players, please retake your seats now. Dealers, if you have 3 or more at your table, please prepare your decks.
How's it look?
It actually fits, which is good.
Snug.
Snug. Rather cool. Yeah, I thought I wasn't going to get in it. Yeah.
Is this your hat, Tower?
Yeah, I'll have that as well. Right, this is my new look, right? Yeah.
Actually, you could have put the gold lame jacket on.
This is.
Hey, Jack, you couldn't have
Okay.
put
Oh, that's way better.
gold lame instead.
Oh no!
Jack,
Now I
you
feel
ruined
like
the video, okay.
now I feel like I've left. Yeah. Oh, that's way better. Tyler, what do you reckon? This is the new look.
Oh, yoy!
Nice one, thank you. They look really nice. That little slither right there.
I might still want this chocolate.
Right, we're ready?
It's chocolate.
Yeah, right, you're stealing my chocolate already. Yeah. How's this for a look? Absolute dream team right
Look
here.
at this.
You look like Bruce Buffer.
Oh, thank ladies and gentlemen.
You can have this one though. You can have that.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. That's got a green screen thing going on as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, in one.
Dealers, please begin to deal.
It's quite good. Look at this. The honey suits, by the way.
You actually look quite decent in that. Like, unironically, this suits you.
Thank you very much.
Jack's all in.
Do the levels get longer in the turbo? I'm guessing the app's wrong, is it? A lot of people saying it's saying 20 minutes then 40. It's definitely 20 minutes all the way through in the turbo.
Oh, this probably gets cooled actually. I just realised. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have them all in.
Would you like some cake?
I actually stole one of Jack's.
Yeah, he's already had one of mine. Yeah.
King 10 off.
There are. You can take a chair from if you want to take it to the boys.
Okay, everyone's in comps today.
Oh, they're all still in comps?
Yeah.
And you're stood on the way.
I'm not in at all.
So King 10 against Ace 9 have ended up all in pre. The King 10 needs to hit. Oh, we are losing Jack. It's an ace.
We have an ace off the river for Kieran for 2.
Jeej.
We lose Jack in 6th position. Let's have a round of applause, please.
Got you. Well done, Jack. Jack O'Neill. King 10 against Ace 9, finishing in 6th place for £8,650. Well done, sir. And the reason is on the, we'll do this again, the reason on the app why the blinds go longer for the turbo is because 16 levels is 1 day, and that's 20 minutes, and day 2 is 40 minutes. So obviously level 17 down is day 2, obviously. So that's why it gets longer. So it's 20 minutes all the way through for the turbo, and then 40 minutes. If you get to the 40-minute levels, it means you've made day 2, which is what you need. Are you playing Goliath, Ewan?
Yes.
See, you must flick in one button.
We'll have to do some bets if we do.
You have to flick in at least once.
Yeah, we'll have to make some stipulations. Like,
What was like a crossbook or-
not a crossbook. Although crossbook of the Goliath, that could get sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last longest.
Yes. If I have to ship you like 100k because you win the Goliath, that would be brutal.
There's some last longest.
Last longers. Okay.
There has to be.
Last longers. bets awarded for the best hand of the day, things of that nature. You're redundant, mate. We're just going to take over.
Fine with me, mate.
Jay's just coming in for half an hour, and then we'll take over because we're down to the final 5. So I'm just going to take this jacket off.
Okay.
You eat your cake.
I'm
Jay's
good.
going to come into my chair.
Yeah. Jack, are you taking the Mad Turk up on his offer of heads up for rolls? Yeah, anytime, any place, mate. Let's go.
The best line ever yesterday. The best line ever. I'll play you anywhere you want to play. Let me play you. Sorry, mate. Don't play 1-2.
That got him good.
And he just stared and he didn't know what it was. Oh dear, it was funny. But it was all good at the end.
Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, he had his 5 minutes.
It was all good at the end. Kings look like doubling up. Kings versus Jack 10. They all in with the Kings. Straight double. There we go. That'll do nicely. Kings doubling up. Here's Jay. I've got half an hour. I'll bring back the tees. We had to do green screen, so the only reason he'd wear the hoodie the only reason he would wear the hoodie is if I wore the jacket. So we had to compromise. We had to.
Are you playing the main, Jack?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, shall I wear that jacket if I play it?
They're just trying props at the minute, so we've got to get the props on for these two guys with the for the main, because he wasn't going to flick it in.
Yeah, is that?
You always going to flick it in. Come on.
I mean, you'll probably convince me, but it doesn't mean I want to.
If you are, we'll have to get you on the feature table just to clip some facial expressions when you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll actually be picking my eyes up off the floor at some point, I'm sure.
It's great, isn't it? Like what we've seen. Like, it's tough to watch sometimes, but it's different. It is different.
Yeah, it's like a different game.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like if you cross poker with Snap. You're trying to match cards to the board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, we lost Jack.
Yeah, King 10 into Ace 9 shove button.
15 bigs.
Do you know Jack? Well, Jack, I know.
I spoke with him,
Yeah.
Met him in Vegas properly.
Yeah. I didn't recognise the face. I hadn't mobbed him and realised he was very good. Yeah.
He was like one of the last good players in the UK that I hadn't met him in all that time up until like Nottingham UK IPT. We just never crossed paths, but yeah, he's pretty good.
Super nice guy as well.
Yeah, lovely guy.
Wow, Kieran's up to 5 million. He had about 2.8 when I left. That makes it 200. She's still been betting one big blind on every board, Kieran.
Well, the one I saw was definitely a good one to do.
Yeah, literally. He had 3 C bets when I was here, and he literally every single time it was just a one big C bet.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the one big. So probably had an open rip candidate there on the button, but if people aren't playing too well, like you can just min raise fold. It's fine.
Covered after yesterday, I take it was a bit of a mental night.
Yeah. Well, you saw partially what happened.
Yeah.
Not sure we could really talk about it too much. I went to bed at like 8 a.m. Still managed to make dates. Well, I was surprisingly well considering all things that day. I actually woke up feeling not terrible, not great, but you know when you've been like I've been better, but I've also been a lot worse.
Well, you expect to be a lot worse when you're at bed the night before.
Yeah,
I was still drunk when I woke up.
Mate, it's better to be still drunk than hungover. Like by about 10 eggs.
Ewan killing me action all night as well. Trying to get some bets on with people, and Ewan's just been killing me action. Yeah, trying to get some bets on.
You're trying to get the bets on with me.
Yeah,
other than none of that.
I've seen a couple of these opens now. I saw like a Jack 10 off 16 and the hijack, Queen 10 off into the chip leader behind. I do think these ones are pretty loose. Probably shouldn't be opening them. On an FT, you know, like chip leader, if he does his job, just makes it 5 bigs and you can't do anything.
GK, how's he played the last half hour? He had a wild hand
I've not seen too much of him,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Missing a shove opportunity in the big
He just went for the 3-bet out of the big blind versus cut off open with Jack 6 off versus the chip leader.
So it's like a min 3-bet.
Yeah. It was like it's crazy stuff.
I wouldn't hate a 3-bet out of the big blind here either, to be honest. We made it like 650 or something. It's pretty cagey.
I think you can jam a lot as well.
You can, yeah. I mean, I think Ace Deuce is always the one that 3-bet folds on FTs. Like that's the sort of power combo. But this is too high level, you know. We need to calm it down.
But it's just a high roller. It's not 150 anymore. I'm sure everyone listening happy for the insight.
Wow. All right, yeah, you and you're sorted.
There's some lemon
I'm
drizzle
good for
as
now.
well.
Oh, there is.
We got some lemon drizzle.
Which bit? Where?
Well, that's the raspberry cheesecake, or that's the mousse cheesecake.
I'm actually good for now, thank you.
You sure?
Yeah, thanks.
Best wages you've ever had.
Yeah, this is great. Just pay me in cake on wheels.
So ace high good here for GK after check call in the flop, turn going check, and now GK looking like he's wanting to lead here. And goes for 350 into 800, so just over 40%. Remember, that's can't do much but get out of the way here with his queen 10.
Yeah.
The time bank's been thrown in. Thinking about
Queen
it.
high cool.
Maybe he thinks GK's got like a 6-4, 8-6, 8-9 type hand, and meaning queen high would be good.
I suppose it'd be all bluffs and
Is this the Goliath or the high roller?
The high roller. This is
No,
the high
definitely.
roller. Oh, it'd be some value bet if he gets called by queen high here, I'll tell you that. Another time bank in the middle. Burnt through 2 here.
Here's a question: Is Ace Deuce value betting or bluffing?
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
think it's value better.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'd go the other way. I think.
But it's. I was gonna say, if you bet like 200k on the river going for a quarter, and I could see it being paid sometimes, but it's a bit thinner when you.
And lets it go. So GK takes that one. Yes, you can, Gary. If you come to a casino, you can. You're probably going to be on alternates list, but you can reg.
Gary, how did you do in that the platinum pass thing? I saw you were on the FT of it, but I didn't see any more.
Usually 100 was 100 tables for the main event, and then we start opening up a few more. There's a cap of 900 usually to start the day, but as the day begins, usually more tables opening. It also depends on what side events are going on the day.
Oh, Ewan, I didn't show you this yet. Oh, I can't. It's pretty bad.
Do you want to sit, Ewan? Do you want to join me? Do you want to just grab a chair?
No, that clips from the.
Yeah, I'll grab a chair.
Might as well.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like we're covering sports, isn't it? We've got the 3-man commentary bit.
Yeah,
It's good.
Hey, I'll just take one. Just take one of these. What is it? Everyone in here now with the desserts.
Bring food and they will come.
Like literally,
Yeah.
everyone just flocks in when we got food.
Get in the middle. What are you doing? Oh, do you mean I need to shuffle? Actually, that would make more sense, wouldn't it?
That would make more sense.
Okay.
There we are. All 3 of us in. There we are. Won't be able to get us in. But
Yeah, you need to lean in a little bit.
Yeah.
absolute
I'm here, Ewan's here,
dream
and
team
Jay.
right here.
I don't think we've ever had you in the comms, Ewan, have we? You ever been in the comms, no?
I think so.
Be interesting to hear some of your breakdowns on hands, because I'll talk to you and sometimes just about hand histories, and when you say some stuff, my head just goes. Even my head, just the way you word it, I'm like, what?
How long's your break now in the room?
So GK 3-bet here out the small blind versus Woody's cut off open. So Woody choosing to open off of 14 bigs here with the king 10 of diamonds.
pretty good 3-bet size, I think, to 5.5.
Yeah, this is cagey.
Because you can have a load of 3-bet folds, which you wouldn't normally be able to.
Well, I think GK also covered the big blind as well, so then it becomes a lot more jams again. But yeah, this is super cagey. If he's got something that's just like an ace-X hand, it's pretty cool.
Aces with value. Maybe kings.
A jam from King 10 would be pretty heroic. I think I'd kind of like it.
I think in these spots, a lot of the time you respond with.
Wow, Woody finds the 4-bet shove. He finds it.
You only respond with all-ins or folds. You don't have any calls because playing post-flop is so bad as like the huge like ICM factors. This is pretty cool.
Woody
finds the rip.
Yeah, and he's got the old pretend tank now.
I'd love to know what he has. I'm sure Woody would get fed information as well. Maybe the Jack-6 offhanders filtered through as well. That was versus a cut-off open.
Oh, it was 2.2. Oh, okay. The graphics were wrong at the start. He said he had a lot less.
That's a rip into 22 big set. What do we think GK could be tanking with here? What hands are like going to be legitimate tanks?
There shouldn't really be any.
There shouldn't be any.
Because you should be really polar. You should only have 3-bet calls with your good hands, and then your 3-bet fold should be really bad hands, like your ace-2 softs, like we were talking about earlier, or maybe like a king 8.
I don't know, unless it's some super mergy thing, like a king queen suited, or like I don't know. It's like it shouldn't even be that, right? Like, it'd be nice if we could actually see his cards as well.
Yeah.
This. What could it be in real life? Could it be like an ace-jack?
We don't know. We'll never know. But fair play to Chris Wood finding the 4-bet rip there with a king 10 suited.
Super good, I think.
Gary says, we've done a deal for the money 5-handed, as was a crapshoot. Then I come 4th, and half the chips in play 4-handed went lids.
That's frustrating. So you couldn't chop out the platinum pass, right? That was just always going to first.
No, I played for passing trophy.
Yeah. It's going to be a pretty small chop then, right? Because all the money's still up top. Yeah.
Gonna play Goliath and try and run like Jack Hardcastle for 4 days. Stephen says, tough ask.
Do you run okay on this tour, I must say?
I wish we could have seen what he had there.
I would
3-bet.
I'd like to make a request that we have Gary Miller on feature for all of the Goliath.
Okay.
I think I'd love to see that.
Oh yeah, Jim Marlowe.
Oh.
So remember that's just shoving the 7 line. It works. It works. A treat. Does pick up big blind and ante. Goes from.
Why has he done that then, Jack?
18 bigs to 20 bigs. Nicks 2 big blinds.
I don't know. It's above my knowledge, I think.
Jack, what are your thoughts on John's top pair call, no spade on the 4-spade board when you've raised pre, bet flop, bet turn, and shove river?
He's probably like pretty indifferent on the river, like call some, fold some. Like I don't think it's, I don't know. If he always folds top pair, then it's probably pretty good for me. It's just one of those ones really. It's just like you can sort of go either way. I don't think it really matters too much. If you always called it, it would be bad. The same way if you always folded it, I think it would be. So.
Must have rolled it.
Yeah. Everyone's looking at the rotation of the chips these days.
High level. There were a few really interesting hands from your heads up.
Yeah, I actually
Like
kind of want to look at a couple of them.
The Jack 3 King 5 hand. That's mega.
Yeah. When he folded the 2 pair on the river, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't targeting anything that good, let's say. But could you imagine if you got down to 2 bigs and then the last hand of the tournament was me ripping in 2.5x pot with Jack 3?
Were you at risk there as well?
Yeah.
So
You just know what the narrative will be. I can't believe how he punted that heads up. I can't believe it.
lost his head.
Give us your thoughts on
The Mad Turk put him on tilt. That's what it was.
Yeah. Give us your thoughts on Francis Cool with the 8s on river. It's not good.
Already good.
Yeah, can I take it away?
Yeah, that's a Kieran in the small blind here, shoving the ace jack suited over the under the gun open from Anthony, and Anthony with pocket 10s here.
Pocket 10's in the bin here.
It's not particularly though, is it?
Yeah, it sucks though.
He's just cool.
Yes, yeah. It sucks a lot. Yeah, it's gone for 2.5x open as well.
I'd be kind of shocked if he didn't put 10s in eventually.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, you see people make these folds all the time.
I felt that one.
Yeah.
Kieran up to 5.5 now. Any of you boys play PLO or just fold them?
Jay's your man.
Yeah,
he's the PLO guy.
I play just mainly no 4 card or 5 card these days. It's just all 6 card. They're the best games, really. They're the games where you get the best players in. To be honest with you, the players you want to be playing against, they want to play the 6 card when their equities are running thinner.
There's been some 6 card PLO running at Goliath.
Has there?
Yeah, there's been a
Get in the mix, mate.
5-5-10 game running every day.
I remember in Leeds last year, first time I really met you, and we
Yeah,
were playing some.
yeah, we played.
We were playing some 6 card. Remember the look I got of you when I checked back the nut boat on Queen 10-10 something else, and I don't know if you remember the hand. I had 3 queens in my hand, and you looked at me. And I showed you the other queen. And you was like, makes sense now.
Thank you, Taff.
That's an XL.
Lovely.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
6 card is not a good game. Maybe it's a popular opinion, but I feel like a lot of people love it.
Yeah.
But
It's only I love it when it's deep, like really, really deep. Not like some of the games I play, we start and people will just pull up like 50 big blinds, try and spin. But later in the night, when the game gets really deep, that's where I really, really enjoy the game. Especially if you've got players.
Get some crazy.
A couple of other good players in the game where they're like overfolding all the time to 3-bet river bluffs, like always. Like if you've got a straight flush blocker, because no one ever 3-bet shoves like as a bluff. In 6 card PLO,
so you're
with
like
a straight flush blocker, they'll just always fold the nut flush to you. Always.
yeah, you're fading them
Always.
having the other blocker.
Yeah, the
and-
other blocker. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Nut
it.
flush with the straight flush blocker.
And it's not just with the straight flush blocker as well. You can do it with the quads blocker when you also block nut boat as well. They're really good 3-bet river bluffs as well.
There's more to it. Because my experience of playing it is I played it a couple of times at and it just seemed like, okay, obviously those spots happen, you're super deep. Sort of the game I was playing, no one really bluffed unless it was the ace high blocker that flushed. And then that's not even really bluffing, that's too easy. It's exactly as you can.
It's a load of really.
So please do stay in your seats until
But when it's shorter, it ends up all the money is all in free flop.
So please do not leave until your chips copy second floor.
There's been a
No
lot
one
of
folds
6
anything
card.
free and then you just get it in.
A lot of 6 card games actually around the tour in general.
We played a great one in Luton last year with TJ. I played 25-1500, but the 6th card was exposed. And you'll love this hand. I ended up playing 5 pot versus TJ. I can't remember how I had King 9, and there was a King exposed over here, and the flop come King 9, and Terry was just barreling into me. He didn't realise there was a King exposed over here, and I've got the other King, and I've just called him down the whole way with the nuts. He goes, yeah, you're good, like that just turns over dust, and he's not even taking notice of the dead card over here and just gifted me a pot. But that was
Those
really
cash
fun
games and
variant.
Elite are mental.
That was a really fun variant playing with the last card exposed in 6 card, because you've got to remember all the dead cards, and it's crazy. The thing is, it's swingy as well, it's really swingy.
Yeah, it really swingy.
Yeah, keep it professional, Joe. Come on. Yeah, I do remember this hand, David, as well. I remember you telling me. Yeah, had like I think it was a middling full house and then like basically the race was just always aces full. Yeah, it's a terrible game. I agree. Sorry to anyone who likes it.
Hold'em is much better.
2 cards, just so much super. It's just so nice.
Less to remember.
Yeah.
Kieran 9's under the gun, making it.
Defend the big
Hang on.
ones. 7.
240.
Less than a big blind to defend.
Yeah, that should be 240. Remember, that's it. Oh, he's really short. He's only got 7 bigs here. 8 big blinds. 7, 8. King Jack gonna defend.
I think the blinds are still 50, 100 in this hand. Is he only?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I think.
Gary Miller's with me. He knows 6 cards the best game. You look like you'd be good at 6 card, Gary, just from what I've seen from you at Hold'em. I think you'd be a very.
Gary's full of
6 card
opinions
player.
about that.
This is interesting plot.
Ace 10 deuce
See the
rainbow.
1 big blind bet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There we go.
Literally every.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it's really good here.
It's definitely good.
Gets the King Jack out of the way.
Tough to maybe see your draws when you're short. How's the final table action been overall?
This one,
Yeah.
I only got through the first half hour, and then what I've been back with you because obviously
Sure.
Jack come in, so didn't really see
It's
too
been
much.
like kind of shallow. Like I think
Yeah.
chip leader was 40 bigs at one point. I think it might be stretching out a bit now. But
Yesterday's final, though, obviously, it's just like
Yeah, it was-
unbelievable.
it's a great
I
final,
actually
it was
enjoyed
carnage.
Like you had actually everything in that, like Francis sending Jack spinning when he called with the H, like the banter between Jack and Turk, the hands that were happening, then the heads up, the spin up, like it literally.
It was an amazing final
It
table.
had everything.
It'd make a great highlight reel.
yeah, we need to
Get a little half an hour
Yeah,
episode
the
produced of
the page used to do a bunch of videos of all the hands, didn't they? Or I think a few of those probably need to go on.
I mean, there were some great hands from that heads up.
Yeah.
Say it again. It's
Yeah, I didn't realise until after he like ISO'd 6-5 suited and just ran the triple through on me as well when I had the Jack High flush draw. Yeah, there's some good hands in that.
The 6-3 off where he misread his hand. That was
Yeah, that was, yeah.
when he's bet small on the river, thinking he had a flush, right?
I was like so mad having to call the river as well with that price, it was funny because I actually had the 3 of diamonds in my hand, and he thought he had 6-3 of diamonds, but didn't clock it straight away. Like, did I ever doubt myself? I didn't doubt myself. It's just if he spins, he spins. Nothing I can do about it. I think I just played pretty well throughout.
Yeah. That's true, Gary. You need to get Jack on the 6 cards. We can get some of that 125k from
Yeah,
yesterday.
in your dreams, mate. In your dreams.
Ace King for Anthony goes for the 2.5x. Get it 300, raise and take. What's boys' plan for the rest of the week then? You just cash or?
No, I don't play too much cash in the UK anymore, so I'm gonna play the tournaments.
Mystery Bounty tomorrow, I take it, yeah?
Yeah, probably. I might play the Goliath because I'm gonna be up early tomorrow. So
Alice is playing tomorrow, so if she's not on your table, be nice.
yeah,
She only played a few, so
it's good. Maybe she does well.
she enjoys it. To be fair, she really enjoys it. She was always wanting to play when I'm not at home. She's always sending me screenshots of hands online and stuff like
Nice.
that. So
Does she run it on people?
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
Nice, good.
She found the double barrel in the ladies with 7-8 suited after peeling the hijack and pinged a gut shot on the river and went for the overbet and got paid.
Oh, you'd love to see that. Yeah,
it was
great.
Sounds like a very well played hand.
King 10-6, original opener checked. She bet. She didn't get with the sizings, but she bet call, turn, paired the 6. She bet call, and then the river come a 9, and she overbet and got called by queens. And yeah, that was it. That was the hand.
Lovely stuff.
She is starting to understand a bit more. One all in here from Minverdes, shoving for 6 bigs just under, with a king on the button as the shorty gets it through.
What happened with the deal? I asked for a bit more than the chop amount, and he decided he didn't want to do it, you know, as is his right to. So we just carried on.
Yeah. Well, another deal got suggested that was...
The deal was much worse than the one we were proposing, I think.
It was worse than an even chop.
Was it actually?
Yeah.
See, I was like already a bit frazzled by that point. I couldn't work it out. But...
And I got the calculator out. Yeah. Hardly, I think. I think it was like hundreds of pounds off. But
I don't know. It's like obviously there's a whole load of variance heads up as well. It could have just gone either way. But I asked for a bit more, put the offer out there. If he didn't want it, then that's fine too.
Unless you feel Hellmuth, he's unbeatable heads up.
Somehow.
Yeah,
apparently so, yeah.
No one beat him yet on high stakes draw. It's unbelievable. Jason Kuhn's next, ain't he? Jason Kuhn's the next one on board.
Someone needs to get him eventually.
Kuhn will smoke him, I think. I think he's like a 60% favourite to win.
But it's like
structures are so deep.
Even Negrani should have smoked him, and he just didn't.
Yeah, Negrani tried to.
He also 4-bet deuces and peeled a 5-bet, so there is that.
Negrani tried to play to exploit us, as in like he had so many spots where he just checked back and let Phil win with like king high and stuff. And
yeah.
I think Phil's better than he gets credit for.
He's better than he gets credit for sure.
Right.
Is he better than guys like Jason? Like no, it's not. Obviously not. But.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if there's any books that are posting lines on the Hellmuth Kuhn and see what the line is, because I reckon like 59-60% Kuhn will win. It's so deep as well.
Yeah. Hellmuth hands are just like strange as well, where it's like he's only pre-betted like Jack's pre, the value like Jack's plus pre and Ace King, and then he's got like all sorts of other hands like.
Well, when he loses a big hand, he then will snap 3-bet the next hand. If you watch,
is that
it's genuinely a thing? Genuinely a thing.
Okay.
Just go back and watch them when he's visibly tilted and he just 3-bets at random hands.
So Kieran in the cart there, 8-9 off, signing to open.
Seaver noticed that and told Hellmuth that he was doing it during their game.
Why would you say that? What?
Super aggressive. How big did you raise?
Just
snug fold from the 8-7?
Probably not really. I think it's in this sort of setup you can't really defend anything.
Yeah.
But obviously not anything. But
in the cage,
a bunch of the offsuit stuff goes way down in value.
True.
I mean, Kieran's got a distribution where he can start open jamming loads of stuff if he wants to as well. If he gets like 9-7 suited, he should just rip into the field.
Wonder if we'll see any open jams.
I mean, he's played the best out of everyone so far. He's finding all the good min bets on flop and stuff.
Yeah, interesting setup where you've got the 3 people with the same stacks and then one either end of really short and really deep. Puts massive pressure on those 3 people in the middle.
Junko just shoving the ace-5 suited here into the shorty. And Minverdes with the queen 10 of hearts and the 4 big blinds makes the call.
Snaps it off.
So Minverdes is the player at risk.
Who you got?
Ace 5 suited all day. Power combo.
Queen 10.
Queen 10.
Yeah, Queen 10.
Should we flip?
I'll have the chop.
Yeah.
Any bets on it?
Beer.
A beer. Okay.
I'm getting it in back. I'm giving action here. Easy win.
Obviously.
Will drop for the ace 5. So move the dash set for a double, fade in aces and deuces. King on the turn, doesn't change a thing, ace or deuce to fade. And it's the 4 of spades, so Mimvidas will get a double up and Ewan McNicholas will get a beer.
Alright, I'll go do that now.
Alright, yeah, I'm in the booth on Shook Farm with Jack Hardcastle and Ewan McNicholas. Tower up should be back any second. Jack loses yet another all in from ahead at a final table.
It just never ends, it's crazy.
Running really bad, right?
Yeah, it's awful.
Got to run better, mate, got to run better. Yeah, we had a slight error with the system there, guys. For some reason, the 2 players that were all in there both got eliminated. But we are still 5-handed, as you can see. He's back.
What's
The main
happened?
man is here.
I've just seen somebody rushing to the bar. What you done to him? He says he owes everybody beers. What did you do?
Oh, we had a bet on who would win and all that.
Ah, I see. You can't leave that cake before you leave. I can't put it back in the fridge now. There's no room.
No room.
No room. Has
Lots
to be.
of cake.
Has to be. Ali Lolo, thank you very much. Lovely to have Ewan and Jack in the comms as we are down to the final. Is it 5? Final 5. Goliath's finished for the night. They've all bagged and tagged and gone to the bar. Well done, 1 and all.
6-2 soft raising the button.
Yes.
Off 10 big ones. 12 big ones.
Yeah.
Into the chip lose big blind. Very aggressive.
A bit too, maybe, but works for GK.
Maybe a card reader error. Maybe not. No.
No.
No. Blame the player, not the cards.
Well, you won the pot.
Well, we had 129 Saturday. Unbelievably, we had 129 Sunday going through.
129 made it through Saturday.
How many we got
Sunday.
today?
Don't you say
How many we
129.
got?
Don't you say
How many we
129.
got?
There's no way. There is no way.
133.
Oh, okay, well off.
4 players. It's amazing. 133.
How many runners are we at total now?
6,000 with the pre-reg for the days that are coming up at the moment. 6,033.
Wow.
Pretty decent.
What's the going line on the total numbers?
We all guessed around like 11,000.
Wow.
We were 540 up, were we, Paul? 537 up on the first 3 days from last year. So, and that was 9,300. So 537. If you do that again, you're probably looking 1,500 up, maybe 10-8. Maybe a good shout.
That's a lot of players.
That's a lot of players. And there was 26 cash tables running about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lists were really short as well. They were getting everyone seated
Yeah,
really quickly.
yeah. And obviously,
Great job.
yesterday with the biggest day 2 they've had of the 1K. Obviously, heading to the dealers for the start of the day. But no, it's been a lot better. It really has, and a credit to all the team.
Yeah.
Really
run amazingly.
Yeah, it has, and it's such a massive thing as well. You build up to it, you want it to run right. Yeah, there's always going to be slight problems. Doesn't please everybody. Nothing pleases everybody all the time, anyway. But I think they've done incredible the last couple of days. Here comes your freebie.
Is GK deeper here? What are those?
No, I don't think so.
Chips?
I don't think so. What are we doing? We're 400?
Surely not.
Come on, get it, middle, you. Well, you're the quieter voice. You have to sit close. You have to sit closest. You have to sit closest.
GK is going on a tear. You missed a 6-2 off opening on the button is the Chippy's big blind.
Nice one.
Off 12 bigs.
I haven't learned that one recently.
Is that not in the book?
I don't think so.
He's won the pot again.
There was a short stack. Let's all do the stacks. Oh, there we go. Invirus 2 mil. Woody 2.1. GK 2.2.
It's crazy. Runaway chip leader and then everyone bunched together.
Yeah.
The short stack just doubled. So
I'll be like impressed if he starts finding lots of open jams. I would like to see that.
Put everyone in the bid.
Yeah.
Do we know much about Kieran Duffy, chief leader?
I mean, I believe I must know him from somewhere because he's playing pretty well. But I don't think I've seen him live before.
Yeah, seems to be doing a really good job.
I don't think we know him too well ourselves, do we?
I don't know.
Jay?
I don't know.
No?
Maybe he'll be more on the tour after a good result here.
Absolutely.
GK is playing at a high level here. Depends which kind of high.
He keeps winning the pots.
He does.
Gets a walk.
That's how you win pots.
Yeah. 3 out of the last 4.
So the high roller playing to its conclusion at some point tonight. If we get another 2.5 hours heads up, then that's it. Somebody else is starting tomorrow.
Just leave us two, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Need some fuel.
Has Ben played any this week?
Teague?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's played everything.
Has he?
Yeah.
Saw him in the winner's photo, that's all I thought. Has he just flown in just specially for the photo?
I mean, if there's ever a man you want on the rail, I think it is Ben Teague.
Ben is good.
He's high
good
level on
morale.
the rail.
Yeah.
A limp off 16, 17 declines or something.
Do you ever limp? Whatever.
Not with ace 3 off in this spot.
If you're covering someone on the FT with an ace, 15 bigs, it's just got to go in.
Yeah, you want to make him fold hands like King 7, right? Hands like if he had 8-4 suited, you'd want to make those sort of hands
Even
fold.
just like if you bid off Jack 10 suited straight away, they can't even call. It's just great.
By the way, boys, it's on break in 10 minutes. On
10
Sky,
minutes?
And then we're on a 20-minute break. So,
Okay.
10 minutes time, we're on a 20-minute break.
Nice one. Nice one. Thanks for the information. See you in half an hour then, yeah?
GK really keeps
Yeah.
up.
So in 10 minutes time there's a 20-minute break.
Is Jack playing the Goliath? Yes, Jack is playing
Yes,
the
Jack
Goliath.
playing the Goliath.
Oh man,
He's in there tomorrow.
I'm being forced in
There we go.
against my will.
You just, if you don't want to play it, just flick in one bullet and just see what happens in an orbit.
Just flick in one bullet, sit out. Give back to the community.
Just start open ripping every hand as well.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
That could actually
Just
be
play
the
like
play.
Terry Jordan.
I don't. No,
Terry
he's
Jordan's
got
a very good
He's got a tough style
day
to
one player.
emulate. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd love to be as good at
Play like TJ, forget the books.
Yeah.
5x the
No,
first
I mean, I'd love to play as
No.
well as Terry probably does in the Goliath. I think
Terry, I don't know if he's played today, but...
He had 500k, didn't he, with 2 levels? So
Yeah.
Terry legit might be like
No.
Yeah.
one of the most winning players in the Goliath.
Yeah, I think
I actually think he's
Terry's
probably
crushing
winning
the
chunks.
Goliath.
Yeah.
He had 500k and didn't make day 2.
Did I ace?
Terry Jordan crushed my soul on Saturday from Scorps 888. I've been there.
Yeah.
Terry Jordan crushes everyone.
Yeah.
It's like a rite of passage. I told this to someone coming up recently. It's like, Terry's going to get you, and there's nothing you can do about it. He will get you, and you just have to accept it.
Yeah.
Man's an absolute legend, then. I've seen him do well.
It's a hero. Coming off a good score in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the restrictions on taking photos and video footage on the phone at Goliath X? I don't think there would be any. Unless you stood at the rail FaceTime in the feature.
Yeah. I don't think you're supposed to get other people's faces in the photos, but
No, if you want to, I don't know, it's just bizarre.
everything else will be alright.
Yeah.
Oh, Ace-3 suited fold. Might be good.
Who?
No, I just saw it fold.
Oh. You just got a fold and
Yeah,
said
I
it
did.
might be good. Okay.
I think it was under the gun. They were all in the cage,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
can't play many hands. What are we doing with the second tool here?
Raise looks good, if that's a raise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go 3x in this particular situation, but I'm a fan of the raise for sure.
Raise your best hands and raise your worst hands. Shove the middle ones.
Yeah. I mean, 3x is totally fine as well. I just think like he might even under defend even versus a bit
I
less.
think smaller is going to be slightly more accurate.
Donna says, congrats, Jack.
Thank you, Donna. Much appreciated.
He was on the way down today, which is, I'm going to make it later in the week. He's done it. There's a lot of modding for all the, a lot of groups. He's done it.
So good setup. We'll see some interesting hands, I reckon, over the next half an hour with these ICM restrictions on half the people.
Or, well, restrictions you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guidelines.
Just mere suggestions.
Yeah. You got the pants anyway. 60 something best.
I'm not sure if it's on the ticker or not. Yes, it is. 61,750.
Awesome.
Play the last stand and lose it. 40,150.
Oh, that's pretty brutal actually. He's doing his job properly and just runs into tens.
25,750 for third, fourth and fifth. We'll update the names on the payouts as we're down to 5. Woody's all in with the tens.
Yeah.
Kieran's got the 5s, makes the call.
Good shove with the 5s.
Yeah, 2 with the 5s, call with the 10s. Woody's all in, big chance to double up. Kieran, all the chips in seat number 1.
I mean, it's actually a pretty big part of his stack. There's lots of
lots of back doors there.
Lots of turn draws here.
3 of diamonds.
3 of diamonds would be interesting. Oh, 3 of clubs.
There's a 3.
Ace, 6, 5.
10 outs.
Barry.
Could happen.
Oh, it is! Barry. It is! He's only called it in.
Wow.
Wow, Woody. Chris Wood.
Crushed.
10s. Out in 5th.
Some card calling, by the way. The 3 and then the ace.
That's pretty good, that. You can come again.
You should do this for a living.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Fifth for
yeah, this
12,000.
is Kieran's to lose now from this point.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is unbelievable for him.
Absolutely. The 5s. Means we're down to 4.
It's a good question. Yeah. Did I adjust much four-handed last night with 2 players not factoring in much ICM? I think it was more 1 than 2, to be honest with you. But I don't know. Yeah, like small adjustments. I can't like raise blind on blind with everything, if, expecting people to fold if they're not going to. But small things, really.
I'm looking forward to watching the final table back.
I watched a little bit of it earlier.
It's like the last 2 days. Every time somebody's all in front, they just lose.
Yeah.
Every time the best hand just lost nearly every single time. And the same goes again today. Been a bizarre couple of days.
Queen 9 suited raise. Wonder if Kieran's going to go after this. If he thinks that Undergun is opening too much, and he can really apply some pressure.
Well, it's like still pretty interesting though, because it's still full ante four-handed as well. So these opens become like fairly reasonable, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean the open's probably good.
Yes. Yeah, I would also.
And GK is going to call big blind. But you never know. He's been finding some spicy raises.
Heading towards the break with 4 left. Kieran, a huge chip lead.
These hands can do some battles on some flops. Not one of the flops.
Not one of the flops. Ace is 2 diamonds.
Backdoors.
Might see the 1 big blind bet again.
1 big blind raise to 3 big blinds.
Ooh.
Come on.
Check back.
5 hearts turn. Is anybody making a step?
Yes. Oh, you mean now? Oh.
Queen high got a little bit of showdown. Check back the turn. Wonder if GK is going to bluff the river. It's actually quite hard to have a hand worse than Jack 10 here. So
I'm just thought of something. Technically, we just have loads of all-ins on the river. Now it's just gone check twice. Even at NFT, we were just we were just jamming with 5.
So what, 600 in the middle over? Yeah, I mean it's not.
If the man never has an ace, and we would still have some aces. Yeah.
Yeah. Snap forward. I think we got to be C-bet on that board. Try and take it down. Stop this happening when we have a pretty big advantage of good hands and ace-X.
That's it. That was the last hand. 20-minute break. Thank you very much, young men.
No worries.
You've been amazing. You've got a hoodie out of it. You've had chocolates. You've had cakes. You won a beer.
I won a beer.
I've got empty water. Thank you very
got
much.
those cans of water.
We have got cans of water which plays with your head.
Yeah.
A can of water.
Does it taste better? Or do you think it tastes better?
Actually, no.
It's still water.
It's like
Yeah, try it. It's a can of water.
Is the placebo real with a can of water?
It's a can of water. It's bizarre. It really is.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
It is. So we are back in 20 minutes with the final 4 players in the high roller. Thanks to Jack. Thanks to Ewan. You played Goliath. We'll look out for your name on the list. You will get it. You will.
You got the hoodie now.
Yeah. I have to turn up with this, and then Frankie's going to put me on feature.
Cheers, boys. We will
mate.
see you in 20 for the final 4. When we started an hour with the tower, Andy from Cardoon Direct, he says, you know what, I'm just going to send a tweet and you never know what will happen. I'll send it to the biggest, the most prolific poker player of all time and see what happens. And then we get a reply saying, do you know what, guys? Why not? So it is my pleasure. And the heart's going a little bit because even though it's absolute great pleasure that to introduce a guy that's got
got just about 24 million in life earnings. He's 22 all-time moneyless. He's got 15 bracelets. He's the only person to win the World Series main event and the World Series of Poker Europe main event. It is the great pleasure of mine, and fingers crossed by the end of it, he'll have just entertained us all, to introduce to you guys the one and only Mr. Phil Hellmuth Jr.
How's it going, Phil?
Oh, thank you very much for this, Phil. This is an absolute pleasure. When Andy sent that tweet, he says, "Who shall we get?" And we were like, well, why not aim for the top? And this is as high as you can get for us.
Thank you. Yeah, when you send out a tweet, you never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. We're starting with lockdown because we're obviously in strange times. We don't know what life is going to be like after. Is it ever going to be normal again? What has lockdown been for you? What's it been like?
Well, March 8th, I went to Draymond Green's surprise birthday party. I started skipping tournaments March 1st. I didn't go to the LAPC. I didn't even play in the Bay 101, which was in my backyard, the World Poker Tour here, because my friends were on top of this early and were warning me. But Draymond Green had a 30th birthday party. We all loved him, and we wanted to show him. So we took a private jet down at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. We had a dinner in LA. We went to his birthday party, and the jet left again at maybe 1 a.m. So I was back home by 3. But other than that, March 8th, I was locked in. I mean, I the most I did in 88 days is I went 2 blocks away from the house. And even then I felt like, so, the lockdown, I didn't anticipate that I'd be staying in place as much as I did. I didn't anticipate that I would play as much poker. I literally played poker at least 6 days a week. And I'm a guy that plays once every 10 days with my group of friends. And actually I did really well. I won a lot of money, and I joined another advisory board for a company called Prize Picks. And I think that's my 11th advisory board. Some of my companies, it's been fun to watch them, kind of flourish. Not everything goes wrong during a pandemic. Some companies do well. And one of them is Endgame Talent Agency, which, just keeps getting new customers, and we're growing, and it's crazy. Yeah. And so spent some time talking to the company founders that, that I'm on the advisory board of. And so I'm surprisingly busy. And so I can't really say that I've been bored, And then last week, finally, I went over to my best friend's house, Chamath Palihapitiya. And then I went to Cabo, flew down to Cabo for 4 days and flew back. But we were on my friend's jet. So, and then I've been locked in for the last 8 days, back and stay in place.
It certainly is strange times for everybody. And obviously, everybody was hoping that the World Series was still going to take place. Even though it's not your fault, is this the first World Series or the potential World Series that you would have missed since you were old enough to play?
Yes, I have not missed a series. I think I missed one World Series of Poker Europe, and that was in 2018. I just told the guys, I said, I'm not going back. You should go every other year. And I was trying to make a point. I missed it. So I don't miss World Series of Poker ever. I don't miss World Series of Poker Europe ever, and I don't plan on it. So now, of course, today, big news. They just announced that, they're going to have 85 bracelet events.
It's enormous.
From July, online events from July 1st. So I just called the president of the ARIA, Steve Zanella, and he tells me that, we're in pretty good shape at the ARIA. We're really going to be very, safety minded. Yeah. And then, reading some articles about it, it seems like MGM has the best protocols for dealing with COVID. And of course, Wynn's up there with them. But I mean, of all the casinos, we're the best. And so the ARIA, so I feel very safe there. So July 1st, I'll be staying at the Aria for a month. If they open, they might open the 4th of July. And looking forward, I mean, there's one event per day. So, I think it's, I'm going to be opening up a little bit going down there. And but I do feel like they're taking all the precautions at the Aria.
Yeah, well, we have seen pictures over the last probably 3 or 4 days about Las Vegas opening up slowly but surely. Things trying to get back to normal as normal can be. It is strange times for everybody. But I'm just going to whiz you back. I'm just going to whiz you back to 1989 when you actually went like that. And then you went like that. And
I saw that picture.
And it's a clip. If you love the game, it's a clip that you watch over and over again. Obviously, we win it. If we'd have come second, if we'd have finished second to Johnny Chen, who won it the 2 previous years, do you think your career would have been a little bit different, or was this the path anyway?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair question. I mean, that final hand, he had ace-7 of spades. I had 2 black nines, but there was a hand before that, where I had ace-10 against 2 10s, and I was lucky, and 2 deuces. I mean, it was a 2-way knockout to go from 4-handed to 2-handed. And if I lose that pot, then who knows? Maybe I don't win. I still think I'd probably have 15 bracelets, but you never know. I mean, it was a very and you have to remember, I mean, there's lots of times, as if you want to be, one of the greatest poker players, you always have your money in, generally speaking, with the best hand.
Yeah.
And you take a lot of beats over the years, a lot of big beats, and but I have to, you got to look back and realize, well, I had ace-10 of spades. Don Zuin had 2 10s. Steve Lott had 2 deuces, and I hit, and we were all in 3 ways. I wasn't all in, but it was a key pot for me to hit, and be thankful. And that's a good question though, because who knows? But I know this. I was already a professional poker player. I was already having tremendous success everywhere, and I feel like I would have continued along those lines.
Yeah, and continuing, obviously, in 1989, you win the lot. But your dad wasn't overly enthused about it all, was he? But did Dad know best?
You have to understand, my dad has a PhD. He has a JD. He has an MBA. So, masters, I mean, that's a lot of letters. I mean, I don't know anyone. There's not that many people on the planet that have more letters than my dad. So, of course, now I'm the oldest of 5 and a guy. So, I mean, I was meant to be on this education path. I was meant to be, I was meant to graduate from college, and I never did. And so for him to then imagine and think that far outside of the box, to professional poker player. And in the 80s, I mean, my dad thought that was like a drug dealer, and so, but he saw me have a lot of success, and he decided to come to the 1989 World Series of Poker main event. Surprised me that he agreed to go. He agreed in December. And he flew out and he saw me in, one of the best moments of my life, winning the main event. And, you notice when I throw my hands up in the air like this in the YouTube video, when the last card comes off, like I think the 6 of spades, I go like this or whatever. And I turn and I look, you can see me turning because my dad was not in sight for 4 days. That was a 4-day long tournament. He wasn't in sight during the tournament, but I turned because, and there he is running up the aisle to greet me. And of course, security stops him because there's $1 million in cash on the table in 1989. And I wave him through, and within seconds of winning, I was able to embrace my father and give him a great hug. And then I bought a Mercedes-Benz, and then I married a doctor. And then, and so, and I'm still happily married 30 years later. So, and my dad's been to Vegas every year, I think, for 30 years to support me.
You turned him. You got him on the side.
Yep. I had to win the main event.
And 1993 in the World Series was probably one of the most insane runs for you. And 3 bracelets in 3 days. It could have been
no,
4.
not 3. Not 3 bracelets and 3. So the 1993 is interesting because John Benetti won 2 bracelets that year. And Ted Forrest won 3 bracelets that year. And I won 3 bracelets that year. So, probably they gave away 20 bracelets or something, or 18. And we won 8 of them. It was crazy year, 93. And I won 2 bracelets in 1 day. So that meant that I played the No Limit Hold'em tournament till about 5 in the morning. And I remember my wife was pregnant, and I don't know if she made it till 3 or 4 I think she made it till 3, 4, 5 in the morning. She's way too much of a trooper. And then the next tournament started at noon. And I was just exhausted because I just won a bracelet. I went for a run. There's no way I could sleep. And I entered the Limit Hold'em event. And I played poorly at first, and I remember going into the dinner break. I didn't have a lot of chips, but at least I was able to. I ate a half an hour before dinner break, and I went straight up for an hour and a half long nap. And I came back down, and the next thing you know, I started hitting hands, and I think by 11 o'clock that night, I'd won the Limit Hold'em bracelet. So I won one at, I want to say 4 in the morning, and I won one at 10:30 at night, and it was just a crazy day. And I remember the next day, before that tournament started, that I'd won the event the night before. And if you want to throw in there, I'd won 2 events on that day, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, 2 bracelets in 1 day, and then I had the chip lead in the main event when I completely fell apart, and that's on me. I mean, I was running good, I was playing great. And the next thing you know, I kind of threw it away. I think it was too much for someone to handle 3 bracelets and the main event.
So the news has just come through from Binions that they've just taken the poker tables out of the card room. It looks like it could be forever. Binions, it must be somewhere in there, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, Binions is just such a classic poker. There's so much history there, and we've faced this for many, many years, but it was a much more pronounced issue that we had to deal with as poker players for a long time. And it's simply this: slot machines make more money than poker tables. Yeah. So, we've heard this hundreds of times starting in the 80s. And so it was really hard to get poker rooms established. There's nothing we could do. A casino would make a decision and they'd be like, all right, we'll have 4 or 5 poker tables. And they'd be like, I know the numbers in the late 90s. Each slot machine makes about $80,000 a day. And so they could put 5 slot machines, 4 or 5 slot machines in one area where you could have a poker table, and maybe 6. And so that's a lot to compete against. And so, when poker broke out and everybody demanded tables, and when it got really hot, I thought that we wouldn't be facing things like this in the future. But, listen, I can't blame Binions because, it's really hard to have a 9-handed game that you can actually rake right now. And so you've seen some of those contraptions they have for poker tables now, where they have plastic up and it's hard to play 4 or 5-handed. And people are flocking in for those to play, but I'm not sure that's a realistic fix. So post-COVID, I wouldn't be surprised if, Binions did have poker tables back in, but it's a very sad day for poker when Binions gets rid of their poker room.
Yeah. I think my first trip to Vegas was 2004, and it was the final time it was actually in Binions. And obviously, unbeknown to me, that was a little bit of history. I was stood there on the rail watching my first ever World Series event. I can't remember what it was, but not knowing that it wasn't going to be in Binions anymore. a little bit of history. Can you remember what's the big poker table that's on the wall where everybody's signed it? Is that still there?
I don't remember. I did go to Binion's about a year and a half ago. I was downtown for whatever reason, and I think I had my sister. Yeah, my sister Ann was with me, and Ann is a Special Olympian, has a bunch of gold medals from Special Olympics, and she and I walked through there, and we saw the pictures on the wall, and and it was kind of nice to see. It was kind of a step back into where I did a lot of business.
There's a lot of history in that room, and like you said, we don't know what's going to happen, but it looks like it might have finished in Binion's. Going yourself, the critics. Now, you answer the critics with result after result after result. Does it affect you and the way you play and think, do you know what? This is for one of you.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand that, I think a lot of people, if you're going to be great, or if you want to be the greatest of all time in your sport, people are going to chop you down at the knees and try to stand on your shoulders, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's, there's some negativity there. And so, I've been a huge figure looming large in poker for a long time. And I think some people are like, hey, he's getting too much press. He doesn't deserve it. And, some of the younger generation is like, what's so special about Phil? And so, it's a natural progression to try to, and so, but some of them don't handle themselves very well. And the difference is when I came up in poker, I gave a lot of respect to all the people before me. Yeah. Always respected Doyle. Johnny's only 3-4 years in front of me, but always respected Chip Reese and all the great players that came before me. And there was always respect. I never went around, saying bad stuff about them. And, I kind of earned my stripes. So, it's interesting to me that you have this, a bunch of high rollers, and you have like, say, 20 or 30 guys that consistently play in the high rollers, and they proclaim themselves the best players in the world. They aren't. And then the press is incentivized to claim them the best players in the world. And they play with, 10, 15 businessmen. And so they're not the best players in the world. You want to be the best in the world, you win bracelets. You win world poker tournaments, world WPTs, you win EPTs. Now, if you want to talk about, somebody like Adrian Mateos or Dominic Nietzsche, these guys are great. They proved it because by winning bracelets. Alex Foxen is a great player for sure, and he just won a WPT to back up, a big one in December. Nice job. And so, but I mean, if you want to be great, then you have to win bracelets, and it can't just be a bunch of high rollers. Because there's a lot of great players, a lot of the best players in the world don't play in those tournaments all the time. I think Negreanu is one of the best players in the world. You don't see him out there all the time in all the high rollers. You don't see Ivy out there in all.
Here we go, the final four. Thanks for sticking with us, ladies and gentlemen. The final four are still with us.
And just me and Tao are back now. Ewan and Jack have both maxed Lake Ridge, the mystery bounty.
Have they really?
Yes, they have.
Oh, wow.
They've called it a drinking tournament. 440 quid's a drinking tournament, apparently, nowadays.
Okay. Okay. So we are on 4.
Oh, you lost?
We lost Chris Woody. Yeah. 10s against 5s. Don't get it all in front.
I didn't realise that. £11,950.
Yeah. 10s against 5s. Ace 2, 3, 4.
Oh, who had the 5s?
Kieran.
Oh, Kieran must have heaps in. I'm guessing
You got
overwhelmed.
about 8 mil, I think. You got about 8 mil. So the final 4 of the high roller. Thanks for sticking with us, ladies and gentlemen. Yet another late one, but thanks for everybody sticking with us and keeping us entertained while the live stream pictures are on.
So Anthony here going to be shoving first hand back after the break, working with 13 big blinds. There's the all-in triangle. gets that one through.
Yeah. So I'm in by the 7 bigs, 1.2 million. Kieran just shy of 8 mil. Simon's done his shift, come sit down. Final 4, here we go. Kieran Duffy in seat number 2 now. So Chris Wood was 5th, Jack O'Neill 6th, Matt Davenport 7th, Jesse was 8th, and Jamie Lee was 9th. They were eliminated, and now we're down to the final 4. GK in 6th.
All the Scots are on the route.
Yes.
Supporting GK.
They are. And I says, how come GK is GDPR? Says he isn't. I went, oh right.
Everyone just calls him GK.
Have you seen his name?
Yep.
He gets 748 points in Scrabble. It's that long. GK will never be anything else.
And opening the 4-3 off here under the gun. And Kieran with the ace jack should just be ripping here. And there's the all in. And Kieran and you, Jack and Ewan actually mentioned how well Kieran was playing here and once more taking the right spot. And GK
has he got a end of off, Kieran?
I'm going to have a look right now, Tower. That's what I'm going to do.
Understand what you're saying.
Yes, he does, but his biggest live cash is $2,877.
Well, there you go.
That's about to change.
Must be a bit of a crusher then online. Playing well. Yeah, he had the luck with the 5s against the 10s. $133 made it through Goliath today. Are we still up on the first 3 days? Is that what it was? 530 up? 537 up after 3 days of Goliaths on 2019.
So 6-5 suit for Anthony, just shoving into the big blind of GK. Queen 7 of spades, not going to be able to call that off.
So Kieran, King 3. How many entries to the Goliath today? Says Paul Trotter, watching on Facebook. 1,431. I do believe, if memory serves.
So Kieran, just going to be going to town with the chip lead. Opens once more, raise and take.
So 1,293 for day 1A on the Saturday, 1,426 yesterday, and today 1,431. 636 pre-reg for tomorrow, so when you walk in tomorrow, you will get a seat. Is there a hand clock in play for Goliath? And if so, how long? A hand clock? For day 3s, the time banks are 30 seconds.
Tao, we got someone to come do their contract.
Oh, Mr. Wilson's in the building. Oh my days.
No, I'm in the comp, so I'm going to go.
Are you still in?
Yeah, they've all managed.
Still in.
Mike said Richard Mr. Granny, but I've not done that, so I'm.
Mr. Wilson.
If you guys are up for it, I'll come and
Come and have a seat, because I'm going to be needed on the floor soon anyway. So you and Jay can do the comms. How are you?
I'm good. I'm loving being at the Goliath.
Please introduce yourself, because a lot of people out there won't even know who you are. Wave to the camera.
I'm an online nerd that occasionally comes out of his cave to come and play some live poker, and here I am playing some live poker.
And your name online?
Bowie Effects.
That's what a lot of people will know exactly who you are.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the European guys can't call me. They don't call me Andy. They call me Bowie.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. They most of them, like, they just call me Bowie, not Andy. Yeah.
There you go. Chatbox.
But that is me. That is me. Yes.
Chatbox goes mad. Bowie the boss. So there we go. So have we flicked it in at every angle so far and had no luck, or have we just?
I did play a summon. I was meant to max like Reggie again today, but I was I just slept too much basically. I just wanted to get some sleep, catch up on sleep.
Well, yesterday must have been a bit of a celebration. Last night, once Jackie.
Yes, correct. But I'd already played and busted the high roller already. So after I busted the main and F2T, I hopped into the high roller because great comp. I played it deep because I actually I love playing deep.
Yeah.
And no good, but I was playing on the best table I could ever imagine. It was the best live table I've ever played with. It was I was loving it. So on my table, we were all agreed to a straddle, and there were multiple people double straddling. Everyone was getting some beers in. It was honestly the most fun experience I've ever had playing live. And it was just here. Obviously I've not played these things much at all, but it was the most fun I've ever had playing live.
Awesome.
And I was loving it. And
are you loving being back live? I know a lot of people haven't seen you at Poker Table live, and I know
outside of being an EPT here and there, but I've really endeavoured since the pandemic. I'm trying to play more live, and it's been fun. It's been fun because you can try and make you can go and make the money online, which I've Ron Hot are doing, but like you're gonna go and experience poker.
Yeah.
Poker's not just about like sitting in the basement playing online. You want to experience the real thing, and that's been kind of been my approach.
Awesome.
So they're four-handed in the.
We are four. I'll take our ugly mugs off the telly while we're chatting away. Yeah, GK from Edinburgh in Scotland, and
Alias, I'm going to play all of WQ.
Are you from Manchester?
I'm from Bolton.
From Bolton.
Bolton, born and bred. I probably don't sound like I'm from Bolton.
You don't actually. You must have been at uni.
I was I was from a 2 up, 2 down terrace. My mum sounds like as Boltonian as it comes.
Really? Bless.
But I got a scholarship and went to a private school.
Lovely.
And yeah, it's stemmed from there. I'll just play.
So you're regular at the Phoenix Club then?
Charlie FM. Charlie FM. In the ears, yeah,
Coming
of
in your
course.
ears.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Peter Kay at his zenith when he was like mid-20s guy. And
Yeah.
he was doing like the Phoenix. He was doing the Phoenix Nights.
Yeah.
And he went and did Max Paddy's Road to Nowhere.
Yeah.
I think almost a peak of British sitcom.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely. And we, do you know, believe it or not, we actually introduced Jay to Phoenix Nights because he'd never heard of it.
I know Mikey's. I know Mikey right now. Mikey Laddard's in the fucking commentary.
No swearing.
Oh, sorry. Mikey's in the commentary, in the chat, in the Twitch chat, and like he's very similar to me. Like he loves Phoenix Nights. And yeah, it's like coming in your ears. Charlie FM. I mean, it was like pinnacle of northern sitcoms.
It was awesome.
It was like northern English sitcom at its best.
My Vindus all in with the 8-9 against GK's 8 deuce. It was a jam on the small, and the 8 deuce got found out.
This is a bit loose of a jam.
Mm.
I mean, if you're going to get called quite often, I think jamming a deuce is probably not what I would do. But I mean, like, if you can apply ICM pressure, it's going to be very, like, you know, if you have that kind of read, it's going to be reasonable. But
yeah. So the 8-9 doubles.
But yeah, it seems super reasonable. If you've got 6 bigs with 9-8 suited, blind v blind, and get jammed on. It's a very good hand. Like, it's going to be a very pretty hand. It's going to have equity against everything. You just like kind of you're unhappy about it because you got 9 high and you're going to lose to like Jack high a bunch or whatever, or Queen high a bunch. But like, you're probably going to have to just call off and just accept your fate at that point. But like, when you see a hand, if you see a deuce, you're absolutely loving it. I'm not sure about the exact stack sizes, but I think the a deuce might be a little bit.
Stack sizes to the right, 8.6 for Kieran, 2.6 for Anthony.
Now I'm seeing the current stack sizes. I really like the jam.
Yeah.
And I think the call is quite close. But I really like the jam. If he's applying significant ICM pressure, a deuce is like, that's actually really sharp. Like, a lot of appreciation for that. Like, it can be quite easy to like shy away from jamming like a hand that looks that bad.
Yeah.
But if you're applying significant ICM pressure in a quite delicate situation, then going for that against a guy that you know will respect the situation, that's really good to do. That's really good to do. Like you put someone in the major cage and like I mean that's what poker's about. Ultimately, you know. So I don't know if Min is like min raised blind v blind or he's just limped. a queen 10 offsuit into the massive chip leader hand you want to play, but this is quite a delicate situation. We're going to play some post, no matter exactly how this has happened, but... Oh,
Literally 10.
So Min has obviously opened blind v blind and been called, so like the big blind has a capped range, and the big, and that's why he's c-bet and stuff. Basically, like when you're the opener and the big blind is called, and you get like a 2 Broadway board, and the big blind is involved with the said cap range, like you can actually c-bet pretty liberally because the big blind is not offered aggression pre-flop, right? That's all you always got to think about. Like he doesn't have aces, doesn't have kings, doesn't have queens, because it doesn't have it. Never has ace king because. But you could have those times because you just raise. So. Oh, Jay's getting involved. Here we go, the dream team.
Here we go. Sorry, I literally just had to pop out for 5 minutes, but we're back, ready to go, and we've got the main man in the house. Forget paying £200 an hour or whatever Andy would probably charge. I'm just going to get it for free. I'm going to be asking you lots of questions.
I'm having my beer, but I'm enjoying it. Yeah. I mean, the atmosphere of the Goliath has been just absolutely class, and I've been enjoying every single minute of being here. Like, obviously went deep in the main. Had some of the things that went well for me.
Yeah.
But even despite busting, but like, yeah. I mean. I've never seen Grosvenor do this well in these situations because like this festival has been so built up.
Yeah,
it's such a great atmosphere. Like, and I can only tip my hat to like to the people behind the scenes that are making this happen because like this is such a. Everyone I've seen here is just like for the most part like 99% of people I've seen are just super happy to be here and just really enjoying it. Like.
Such good atmosphere every night as well when like everything's finished. The bar's just always packed with everyone there.
I mean, we're on a Monday night and the bar is absolutely rammed. Yeah. People are ramming into the 4-way mystery bounty, max layer raging it. Like there's so many people just like so happy to be here and enjoying it. Dark Angel.
Do you know any of these left, Andy?
I actually don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Kieran,
do you know?
I don't know any of them. I know GK actually. I know GK from he plays the Edinburgh GUKPT when we're there. Sure. He's from Scotland. Kieran's been playing very well, but as you can see there, I've done a bit of research on him. He's not had many live scores in his time, but maybe an online grind.
Might be an online reg, yeah, for sure. And like with all of these ships right now, with such a huge ante, like you should be playing. I mean, if I'm just going to, as a blanket statement, he should just be like not really folding much.
Yeah.
First in, he should just be like getting involved with like infinite hands. If he has a middling hand, he could shove. If he has a very polar hand like aces, kings, queens, jacks, tens, ace, jack suited, whatever, he could just raise and then call off someone that like 3-bet shoves on him. And if he has 7 deuce off, he doesn't have to shove. He could just like raise and just fold if someone does something.
Let's see if he's heard you, Andy. Jack deuce off, no. Into the Mac. First in, and Anthony on the button.
I mean, I think the main thing that we have to comment on is like when you're playing 4-handed, but the big blind ante is still an entire big blind.
Yeah.
It's as if you're playing like a 25% ante online. It's massive. Like you've just got to fight for so many pots. And I've seen GKs actually really recognise this, and like he made a really loose shove with queen 10 off the previous hand, but like he recognises there's a lot of money to win out there.
Yeah.
And they're just getting after it, and like, I mean, he might be the person right now, like this 5-4 shove. I'm massively in love with it. Over his 11 bigs, like I think it's a good shove, and you can tell that he's just getting after it and realizes like there's a lot of money in the middle that's not being accounted for, maybe even by the other players. Like, and you just have to like. If you're the person fighting for it the most, you're gonna like really benefit from that. I think that's kind of my viewpoint, at least. Like, might be flawed, but like, yeah, it's just. I mean, like when you're playing 4-handed, but like there's a massive big blind ante being paid. It's so much different to playing something online because online you're paying like if 9 people at the table are paying 0.1 of an ante, that's 1 big blind. But if there's like 4 people at the table playing 0.1 of a big blind, it's 0.4 big blinds. beyond the small blind and the big blind. But like when you're playing live, it's the entire big blind. It's
Yeah.
like more than twice the amount. So you actually have to get a suit. I mean, I've learned this from personal experience and talking to some of the very, very smart players. Like, I've made some mistakes in these situations that I would not have made online.
Yeah.
I made them as a product of the fact that I didn't respect enough how much money was in the middle pre-flop, and that was actually too tight, basically. And then in live, you just have to get after it, basically.
What about GK here opening 400k off of literally just over 10 big blinds with the 10-9 off? And
I think that's probably too loose. Especially when you open into a big blind that has like all the chips. You have to be really tight and just really respect the fact that he has the chips and he can put pressure on people. He can be the one that can knock people out. He's the one that can make you some ladders. He might get away with it now because he's going to like see bet, I would imagine, on King 3-3 here and should get it through.
Small bet.
Yeah. But I think it probably is a little bit too loose,
I know you're very...
He's also picking the wrong person, like I've just said.
As the chip leader. I know you're very studious, Andy, and stuff like that. Question from me and some viewers watching as well might want to hear the answer to this. How do you like remember everything, like when you're studying and you're running sims and stuff like that? Because there's countless, well, infinite, as you say, permutations of flops and turns and the
you're absolutely bang on, Jay. It's permutations. And it's just repetition basically. Like you need to just like go into a GTO trainer, whatever it is. Like, I mean, I'm personally advocate of GTO, but like I am biased. I will say this is not an objective opinion. I do have a vested interest behind ETO. I do think we do a good job, but like you could get any. It could be GTO, whether it could be any of these products. You just draw a large amount of hands against a robot and just be like, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. I mean, if you start line checking too much, like if you take like a sample of your hands and you upload them to GTO Wizard or whatever product there is right now that just takes your hands on, they analyze your hands for you, that will help you. It's just very inefficient. So like, what helped really for me, like this time 3 years ago, I was like 50 API. Winning 10%.
Well, that's the question. How have you got so good?
I just drilled tens of thousands of hands against GTO trainer, and there is no magic formula. I just really started to understand the patterns of play that happen in poker, and I just started to see it over and over again. And once it clicks, it clicks. And there's no other way that I can really put it. Like, and I think everyone out there can really do it, and like that's what's going to make poker harder and harder ultimately. But like, the dream is very much still alive. If you want to be that person and must go out there and do it, like the dream is still massively still alive for sure. But yeah, that's my
take that one. So we've got a shove here from Minvadas, and he's going to get looked up by Kieran. And Kieran asking for
ace queen suit is just massive hand too. I think you should call it. It's really important not to rejam here because like, especially if there are some. Actually, he's the chip leader, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for him as much. But if he wasn't the chip leader, it's really important to just call here because if there's like if there's collision behind, he's folded.
No, try all in triangle. Okay. All in triangle.
Yeah, I was, I was confused very quickly. I just saw someone muck the cards. I was like, that'll be ridiculous, probably. Yeah, it's really important. If you're like a middling stack, another middling stack shoved, if you have ace queen suited, and you have like stacks looking for you behind, you can actually just call and just fold if one of them jams behind because the risk premium, and such that you just don't have to call despite the price you're getting. You just like, you can just muck it and just be like, I can get a page jump, but I still have plenty of chips here. Like the risk is just not worth the reward at that point on the final table. Meanwhile, if you're playing Chippy V, it doesn't really matter that much.
So 7-3-6, bringing in a 4 as an out as well, and some chop outs on the turn. So going to need a 7-3, 4 or 5 to survive, and it's the 8 of hearts. So we do lose Minvadas from the tournament, and Kira now up to 10 million chips. And Minvadas, what is Minvadas taking home? Put the tick on. It's not coming through on our tablet for some reason. 4th place for £17,300. So everyone's just put an extra 8.5k in their back pocket. And next ladder, £15,000.
And I think the rich just get richer. Kieran just has all the chips now, and this is a pretty interesting dynamic now, 3-handed. there's an entire big blind ante that they can play for, but at the same time, there's one person with all the chips. There are two people that are trying to like battle against each other to try and get this next ladder, and it just kind of is. Kieran's almost the kingmaker in like how he can dictate how this actually happens for the most part. I think like these are very interesting scenarios, and like there's a lot to take away from like how you watch these things happen, how they occur, and how you can implement it into your own game. Is like there's so much to take away from these situations for sure.
So 6 deuce on the button for Anthony, going to be getting out of the way. And over to GK, who's just going to give Kieran a walk with the 4-3 off.
Seems well played from both of the short stacks.
Not much they can do.
Yeah, but Kieran just has, like, as you can just see right now in the graphic, he has like 75% of chips in play. Like, Kieran is just going to be the kingmaker for anything that happens right now, and that's just how this works.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like, if you're trying to like fight, if you're trying to fight for the win right now, you're ultimately you can't really. Like, if you double through Kieran, this is a 14 big blind stack, you get it to 30 bigs, and he still covers you.
Yeah.
And you're still, you're in the same situation as you were before, but you just like cover the short stack way more than you did. It's like, but the actual dollar EV gain is just so small. Like, you just have to be super careful. Like right now, I think this jam is fine, but like this hand might actually.
He's not jammed. He's raised.
I actually really like this. I think Anthony has to hold the big line with his hand. I really like this raise. I thought he just shoved. I think the size probably too big, but I really like. I don't know if he survived by this by accident, but like there's huge risk premium on both these short stacks right now, and like on the button he has to be so tight that like you can actually just like raise fold ace 9 off, even off like 12 bigs on the button, which in Chippy V we know that we will just always be all in. But like,
oh wow, look at this flop handy as well. Anthony does defend, and we got top pair versus up and down, and it's just an insta shove from Anthony.
Shove, and he just has to fold the open ender. Wait.
No,
they got in. They got in.
Donk shove with the 9-7.
Oh man, okay. Well, we're just running it. That's fair. Yeah, I mean,
just goes for it, Anthony.
I was gonna say, like, if it went check and like GK just went all in, like there's no way you can call. But if he donk shows, obviously top pair is probably not gonna fold.
So could be heads up, 5 and 10s to fade. And it's the 4 of diamonds, so we are heads up. It's going to be GK versus Kieran. Anthony Hughes in third place, taking home £25,750. Both GK and Kieran now locked up £40,150. And I think, Andy, we're going to be on a little quick 5-10 minute break just while we get ready for heads up. Just another quick question for you, just for our viewers and stuff, and I've heard a lot about you and obviously always wanting to learn. If you had, say, 3 tips for someone, not someone that's just getting into poker, someone that's been playing a while, above average player, and they want to go that next step, so they want to go from good to great, if you like, what would you suggest? Like three small tips or 3 big tips, if you like?
I think you need to learn the actual fundamentals. So like, when I say the fundamentals, it sounds quite basic when I say that. Like, it's like you should call when you call in the big blind, you should just check every board. Like, for one, that's not really true. But secondly, what I mean is like you should realize what boards are good for you, what boards are bad for you. And if you're opening early position, you should bet bigger more than if you're opening late position, because if you're opening early position, you have way less hands if you're late position. And it's just trying to like learn all of these kind of things. So second tip would be like, people don't free bet enough. When you're like, I mean, especially when you're 50 plus, people just like call way too much. When you free bet pre-flop, you dock most of the rest of the that people out of the hand, and they all get dealt 2 cards, which include pocket pairs, everything else. I think it's very important to be able to free bet quite a lot pre-flop. And play in position post-flop with an uncapped range. That's you can make a chunk of money doing that. Thirdly, I would say not to get too attached to results, because this was the main thing that I really struggled with. And I've been quite fortunate in that like I've made some money nowadays, and I'm not struggling as much as I once did. But like, I think if you can really detach yourself from the results and just focus on the process of how you're studying hands, how you're approaching the game, how you're thinking about situations that you're faced with, and like how you're approaching them like as a problem solving aspect, whereas it's like it's not an egotistical thing where you're just like looking the villain up and down. Like maybe you could get a read off a villain at live hand and you get a live tell, but like sure, but like if you don't have an actual consistent thought process, then it's going to be difficult. And I think those are the main three.
Yeah. Good works. I like it. So 3-bet more, big bets, early position. Smaller bets, late position. And the reasoning for that is because you've obviously got more hands opening late than early.
It's all range dependent, yes, correct. Yeah.
And the first one, what was the first one?
The third one was mentality. It was yeah. People don't 3-bet enough. People don't bet sizing the game correctly from EP and LP. And the third one is mentality. Because if you're like studying these things, then like you will go a long way. And it's just like having a consistent thought process and a consistent kind of approach to the game in that respect.
Makes sense. I'm going to take that on by myself. The thing is with me, I don't really play many MTTs. Don't get me wrong, I do the comms for the GUKPT. I have a great time. I've learned a lot watching the stream and watching the players that are better than me play over the years. I've always been more cash based, but I think this year, when I've started playing a few more tournaments, I went Vegas and WSOP, I really want to next year just hammer the MTTs and play a few more tournaments. And I'm sort of asking them questions for myself, if you like, as well as everyone else.
As much as everyone else, yeah. Of course, watching, and they're like, I'm not even offering like objective answers. I'm just offering my subjective opinion that might be like a bit better shape than most, maybe. But like, that might be just because I'm a lucky person. Like, who even knows? But like, you know, ultimately, you just have to kind of approach the game with an open mindset.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the main things that people do wrong, they don't get after it enough. Like you really have to be willing to like fight for pots, get aggressive in pots, put big bets in. Like you have to try and win the pot a lot, and that's what we've really seen in modern times with some of the best players nowadays on live scene. Damo is one of the main people I could quote. Like,
where did Adamo come from? Because like
I'm actually quite good friends with him. Yeah. We were acquainted, but we have a mutual friend. I won't name him. Because I had a piece of him in the EVT main event, and he went deep. But I've just met him just casually, and like he's just really into yoga and exercise and things like this. He's just like kind of like got into that recently, but like he's really super like balanced in his life. But at the same time, he's just super studious. He gets into solvers all the time, and he's always just trying to make money, like where he can make money. Like he's trying to find the ways where he can just like he sees what like a robot might do against a robot.
Yeah.
If you're just meant to check raise lots of the time on any kind of situation, he'll just get after it and like overdo it. So like he's just like that's how he's kind of built his game. He gets after it in terms of like he just gets way too out of line in aggressive scenarios, but he does it really really well. And humans struggle to play against him. That's just how he does it. As Michael Lenz, he's just not human, but he just gets after it. Like he bases his play on robots and how they play against each other, but like he takes it to a further extent against human because a human can't react as well as a robot does. Basically, it's exploitative in that kind of sense. Yeah, it's very very fun.
That's some wise words from Andy. Thanks for joining us. I'm not sure where Tower's got to, but I'm not sure when the heads up started either.
Looks like they were talking numbers for a little bit there, but I don't think there was an agreement in any case.
Yeah. As the audience.
I'm just enjoying being back, is I presume it's muted right now.
Oh yeah. We're good. We're back on. Just had the word that Tower is going to be waiting out on the floor for the heads up, so he's straight ready to do the interviews.
He's ready for the interviews. He's ready to get capture the man on the floor.
So
who's won the most money? Get his thoughts, feelings, processes, everything else.
And Andy is going to stay with me until heads up has finished, as it's not too deep, but you never know. We saw last night 2 bigs spin back to 50 odd bigs, and then it was level again, and they were battling out.
I mean, Ben Donnelly in the EBT main 2 weeks ago, he lost an all-in, had less than a big blind, and literally came back to win the entire main event. I mean, there is nothing more picturesque than a chip and a chair. It's literally like the dream. I mean, if you're still alive at the moment.
Johnny Kelly says, good player that Kieran bashed the granny out of me in day 1 every hand I played versus him.
Atlantic Payload.
Alright guys, Kieran's here, just waiting for GK, and then we will get underway. How did you start, Andy? How did poker come about for you?
So I used to be an esports player. I came from gaming, and I was there's a game called Trackmania, which has now become really popular nowadays. In very recent times, while I was playing it was a little bit less popular. I was like a top 5. I mean, at my best, I came from the World Championship. I was rated like 4th in the world online. And it was. I just came from that. And basically, I was also playing a bit of Counter-Strike. Got to like the Global Elite, which is like the highest rank you could attain in CS:GO matchmaking rankings, and then I was a Grandmaster in StarCraft 2, which is like the highest rank you get in StarCraft 2, which is like completely different. They're all completely different games, but I met various people, and then there was just like a Counter-Strike player called MBK. He hosted Jay Carver, Jason Somerville.
Yeah, Jason Somerville, yeah.
And he hosted Run It Up. Like this time, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, he hosted Run It Up. I'd never seen poker before, and I was just hooked for the offset straight away.
So if he never hosted someone else's channel,
you
there
might
not be a Bowie effect.
But I also have some really great stories. Like my first big score was at Grosvenor at Berry New Road in 2016. I'd been playing the game for 6 months. I satellited into the Summer Sizzler for £10, which I presume is like, kind of the dream for like most kind of people. £10 satellite into like £110 tournament. I got to the final table. I won a massive pot with 3 of a kind. Didn't really realise the magnitude quite of what was going on, and I was a little bit petrified of realistically what was going on. So I ended up. Riggy still tells us still because Riggy was still involved in the 5-way.
Oh, okay.
And Riggy was just, and then he was just like, let's just do an even chop. And I had probably, I think I had like 70% of the chips in my 500.
And you took it?
I took an even chop. Horrendous chop. I would never ever do that on any 6 now.
Riggy knew his
Riggy hustled me hard. It's one of Riggy's best stories. He will always tell this story.
That's great.
And he loves it. But
he knows you've just started playing. Oh, we do a 5-way chop. I can imagine how he wangled that.
And he still tells it nowadays to all the boys. It's obviously got a bit high now. But like, as a guy that was broke at the time, I was signed this tournament for £10. I had no money to my name. I don't really even regret it at all, because like, if the difference between I think 5th was like, I mean, Grosvenor tournaments are like great because like they pay 10% and they're quite top heavy.
Yeah.
Their payout structures, like Grosvenor's payout structures, are really good. I think they're really good. Like, but at the same time, when we're in the SFT, third was like £3,000. First would have been 18.
Yeah.
I had no money to my name and I was in a bit of student debt already. I was just finished freshers year at university. It's like, the utility of having £10,000 guaranteed versus having 15 would have been similar, but like me having £10,000 versus like 2, world of a difference. Yeah. So I kind of had that viewpoint, and I don't regret it. And even nowadays, I don't really regret it. Like, it kind of set me up for like what happened, and I have no regrets in life. you know.
There you go. There you go. That's some story. How you started playing and then.
Yeah, and
how it sort of
if
progressed.
you guys ever meet Ricky at the bar, he will leave very happily.
Do you know what? I could picture how that was happening, bro. Like we'd be like, "Oh, it's a good deal for you, mate. Really good deal."
No, I mean that's exactly how Ricky is.
Yeah, I could
To a
imagine.
T, to a T.
Could imagine, but nice story there. We are just about to get underway. If you have just tuned in, I'm joined by Andy Wilson, or Bowie Effect, as some know him on Twitch. Kieran Duffy and GK are heads up for the title, and this is what they're playing for at the bottom: £61,750. So effectively a 21k heads up. Another question for you, Andy, coming from me as well. Like you say about the study and realising patterns and then applying it. But when you look at different situations, like obviously a solver's going to say a different thing if you're 9-handed to what you are 3, 4, 5-handed. It obviously changes. How do you get that all in? Like,
So there are two main things that people should look out for. So firstly, it will be so the ante when you play a live is very consistent because the big blind pays the ante, so it's like an entire big blind.
Yeah.
But when you play online, sometimes if you're playing 5-handed, it will always just be like 0.12 to x5, maybe 0.6.
Yeah.
So like live, it could be like as much as 40% more 5-handed. And secondly, if you're playing, like, if you have 8 max chart ranges, then there are going to be people that have like folded hand cards that you don't want them to have folded like more often than usual. So like, it's called card removal. So basically, like if you're 9-handed or 10, I mean especially if you're 10-handed, like, it's pretty rare. But like 10-handed, 9-handed, 8-handed, if people fold cards, then it's going to be more significant if you're playing like larger handed than if you're playing shorter handed, because like they're going to have just folded like lots of very bad cards in their hands all the time, so it's very more likely that someone's been dealt a good hand late position, and that's going to like drive the entire kind of hand from there.
I remember having Ludo in the booth actually last year in Edinburgh, and he actually mentioned the exact same thing about when there's folds from early position, it does make it more likely that someone from...
Me and Ludo are very good friends.
Ludo said the exact same thing, I remember, on the Edinburgh stream last time, but it does make sense, obviously. But the thing is, like, the thing I always think about that, you know how many permutations there are of a deck, but it could be ace deuce off, ace 3 off, ace 4 off, all folding EP, yes. And then like some king X off, king X off, and stuff.
But there's something just mentioned right now. You just got an ace deuce off, ace 3 off, ace 4 off, ace 12 all for the EP. What's the main thing that you might know? Guys, just like in those like rounding it off. They have an ace in their hand.
Yeah.
You have an ace in the hand of 52 cards, so there's only 4 aces in the deck of 52 cards, and like, if there's an ace that's been folded, it actually massively shifts anything that's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like you see in the game like that. It's almost if you're playing like it's almost if you're playing like a whole table game against a dealer, and trying to figure out what's going on. It's I mean that's what you actually have to do. It's kind of crazy. The game is quite wild nowadays. It's really tough. There are so many good players nowadays. Yep. You just have to like really fight for scraps to some extent.
Sorry guys, we were just chatting away there. Did actually just miss a big part. I think GK went for it on the river and was heroed by the pocket sixes of Kieran. I'm just trying to get all these nuggets out of Andy while he's in the booth, but we will jump back to the heads up action now and concentrate to close this one out. Any plans to do any more study streams, Andy, or was that just a lockdown thing? Was good fun?
Yeah, there's a chance. It's like 50. Right now, it's probably like a coin flip. I'm not really sure which way I'm going to go. I'm really enjoying just playing online and playing these nosebleed stakes, but at the same time, I do really enjoy the interaction with you guys. So it's tough. I don't really know. I don't know which way we're going to go. It's a coin flip right now. I'm not sure. 80% bigs. Oh wow, he's limped in with the king jack. You can't limp fold this hand. I really hope he knows that. But I don't mind the injuries.
Kieran going to take a free flop with his 4-3.
I think with 4-3 you could literally just like 3x and fold to a jam. Like it's one of those hands that's really good to like be polar with. you block hands that you just snap folding on the button, especially when there's no big blind ante. You block hands that snap folding on the button. Like.
So, GK flopping top pair and Kieran with the nut low out of that.
You're sitting a low bullet here on. I'm an ambitious person, but 4-3 with a diamond on Jack 7 deuce 2 diamonds. I'm not really looking to fold. I'm looking to do some like check min raise and fold a jam, or like it's really hard to. I mean, if you have a jack, if you have a jack that's a short in SBR, you really want to just check raise and just like get the money in.
Yep.
Even if it's like Jack 5 offsuit.
Yep.
So you're looking for offsets to that, and like it's really hard to look for offsets to that beyond like having 2 red cards in your hand on a 2-turn board that includes 2 diamonds and a heart, and you have 3 to a straight that's just connected. It's like you really actually just have to get after it in these spots, and I think it's really under attacked. This is one of the things that I don't think people do enough of. Like you can literally just like check. I think you can check min raise 4-3 off there.
Yep.
Even though and it looks really punty, but like I would have been a massive fan of that. But like I don't think people look for that enough. Which is why I think in position betting you can just bet small all the time in position, in tons of position situations, and just get away with it basically.
So Andy may have found the old min check raise there with a nut low. No draw on the Jack 7 deuce.
We have multiple backdoor draws.
Yeah.
We're ambitious people.
We're choosing that exact 4-3 off combo 1 half.
Because based on the board, it was all red board. Yeah. Yes, correct. I wouldn't, I'd have some kind of regulation there. Like it's not just,
You're not just going to check raise all 16 combos of 4-3 off.
I really don't like this shove with Queen 7. I think he's picking the wrong hands here. Like I think he has too middling of a hand. Like you'd rather shove like Queen Deuce off, King Deuce off. Like you want hands that play really badly, but have like a high card. Like when you get called by an ace-x, you're doing okay. Yeah. Queen 7 suited actually dominate. I mean that you just saw right now. He folded A7 off. Like if Evelyn folds A7 off and you have Queen 7 suited, like you should probably try and play this. Yes.
Players and dealers in deal 1B for Mystery Bounty, please complete the hand that you're on, and dealers please send your players for 15 in the correct.
I really like Kieran's strategy overall. It's like trying to play post, he tries to like play his button. Even, I mean, I've just said that like, heads up they play without an ante. Yep. If they were playing with an ante, you actually can't fold heads up pre-flop on the button, theoretically. But even still, without an ante, you should still be just VPing so much, and Kieran has a strategy recently trying to VPip a lot. And I really, really appreciate that, because like, if you just start being too tight, then you're just going to start giving so much money away to the short stack, and suddenly it's going to become more close than it should be, like more often than it should, and like, difficult scenarios to navigate.
Though GK on the button, 10-3 off does relinquish that one.
I think again with an ante, I think the hand has to be that without an ante, folding is super fine. It's such a funny situation right now in live tournaments. I mean, we talked about this, Jerry, but like there are some tournaments right now that run like a massive big blind ante, like heads up.
Yeah.
And there are some tournaments like Grosvenor right now, like they don't run this big blind ante heads up, and it's like you just got to really calibrate to like what kind of situation you're in. I mean, for one, you've got to mainly be lucky enough to just get heads up.
That's
the main thing to point
you're
out.
Speaking like you get heads up every time combat.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But like, yeah, you get the heads up in the first place, but like similarly, it's like acknowledging it.
What do you think of this one? Off of 9 bigs effective, limping the pocket 8s on the button.
I think it's really sharp. I think it's really, really good, and I hope he bets quite big here on the flop. If Kieran bets like 200k, 250k right now. Kieran's a very, very sharp player. I'm really loving watching him play right now. He's playing very, very sharp poker. I don't think this guy can afford a good shot. I think that was a bit too weak. But Kieran is playing very, very strongly. Like, limb negates there seems super good. And like, what you got to consider on ace high boards at 10 bigs, I don't think people realise this enough. Is like, it's an effective, it's an effective brick.
Yeah, exactly.
If no one really has much of an ace in their range because of like how this is played pre-flop, limp check, then the ace is just like one of the biggest bricks you can even consider pre-flop. So like, pocket eight just suddenly looks like nuts.
It's just an
pocket eight.
there,
Pocket eight is like effect, like we were just saying,
an
Jay. It's like effectively an overpair. Like you're trying to get the money in, and Kieran just like snapped down off floor. And I was really impressed with how Kieran played that.
So there's an all-in from GK, and Kieran calls with the pocket fives. GK shoving the 7-8 off, and Kieran calling it off with the fives for 8 big blinds, 8.5 bigs. So GK loves what he sees once he gets snapped. 2 overcards to the board. Everyone's here now on the rail. No help there for GK, so turn or river to find a 7 or 8, otherwise this is over. Well, 6 of spades on the turn, does bring in a gut shot for us, but does rob us of the 8 and 7 of spades. And it's a 5 on the river.
What a find! What a find!
So
the offsuit 5. That's pretty insane.
So Kieran Rivers are set, but it's no good. GK gets the double, 5 of diamonds on the river. What a river card that is. Where she pulled that from?
Pretty absurd. I mean, what can you even say? Like, you just have to find the magic card, and you find the magic card. I mean, that's what this game's like. That's what we all play it for. There's always just like something that could happen like this.
Yeah, Gully, the run of the lesser hands winning in the last 24 hours has been outrageous.
You let Jung Bow in,
we let him in, he's here.
I'm here surviving,
he's
not quite thriving, yeah, I've had a few.
It's the only way we can get this knowledge out of his head. He wouldn't be giving us all these nuggets if he hadn't had a few beers, so we had to get him in when
something to that effect,
yeah. we had to get him in when he had a few beverages.
But there's gonna be, an elongated heads up. People, get up for it, get hyped.
Yesterday's one.
This man just banged like an insane gutter to just get there.
Yeah, and just limps the kings on the button. 16 bigs effective.
I think exploitatively, if someone doesn't ISO you enough, you should probably just be raising.
Yeah.
Kieran's gonna bet the flop now. And obviously over time, you just continue.
Looks like a queen on the turn.
And this goes check, big bet. Tandu's can't continue against big bet. But like Kieran, at the same time, GK has so many hands that can continue against the turn. He could have turned a queen with the queen of clubs. He could have just turned a pair with an open ender or some kind of straight draw. Like, I mean, this is how you should view the game. But kings at the same time against that entire range is just like absolutely printing. You just got to put in the big bet here.
He does play the big bet, 3/4 pot from Kieran.
Looks good to me. Yeah. Both players played that hand. I mean, I think 10 deuce pre-flop theoretically could do some like spicy ISO stuff, but otherwise, these guys seem to really know what they're doing heads up. So there's only so much you can really criticize. Kieran looks to be playing very well from what I've seen.
Yeah, Jack and Ewan said the exact same thing, to be fair, and I haven't really seen him put a foot wrong on this FT. Must be an online grinder. Only $2,600 in live earnings.
Feels like he's earned a little bit more than that lifetime.
Yeah.
In profits, never mind the actual cashes, yeah.
So GK limping bottom with the 7-5 and suited king here for Kieran and just moves all in.
Ooh, this is a really spicy jam with no ante.
14 bigs effective.
It is clearly plus EV. I'm not really sure if it's better than checking, but like Kieran clearly has a strategical approach to this situation. Like I think King 5 in itself as a vacuum might be pretty close between doing something that's not shoving, raising, and just checking. He had a really awkward combo, but like he clearly has a distinct game plan for him to just like snapshot 30 bigs.
Yeah.
I mean, he pretty much did it in 5 seconds.
It weren't 30 bigs, it was only 16 bigs.
I thought it was
200k big blind.
Okay.
3.2.
I misread.
3.2.
But regardless, no, I think the same thing applies. Like I think King 5 offsuit would be a much like more like quicker shove than King 5 suited for sure.
And GK's all in for 13 bigs with the 5-6 suited, and Kieran out of the way with the.
I really like this. Like I think a lot of people don't do this enough. I think GK actually made a really really good shove there. That much to make.
I like it.
So when a lot of people you beef with a wide range, heads up blind v blind, people don't realize some of the best shoves you can have of like 15 to 20 will be suited connectors, suited one gappers. The hands are when you get like limb called by a hand that was trapping, you're actually still super live very often. Like so 7-6 suited, 6-5 suited, 8-7 suited. I did it in Vegas in November. I went to my Bolivian and didn't win the bracelet. I shoved 7-6 with 20 over a limp, and the guy limb called King Jack offsuit, which is like completely correct. But like, and I was very impressed by the fact that he did it. Like this guy was clearly quite capable. But yeah, it's just be careful. And those are the first hands you want to shove because you can make hands that are way better than yours, just like snap forward. And at the same time,
we've got good equi against the traps as well.
Correct.
Because they're
exactly.
not going to have
exactly.
any 6x, 7x, 8x.
Correct. Yes. We don't share cards with like the lower end of their chopping range.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very very fun.
Did you play the mystery bounty today, Andy?
No, I was out having some food and just chilling out. I've had a quiet Monday. This Monday's go.
Kieran on the button.
Really like the juicy shove is very strong. Yeah. I mean, you have like the most vulnerable pair of them all, but you have like high raw equity. It's the hand you really want to shove the most of like any hand GK immediately recognizes that, puts it all in. These both are, from what I've seen, they're playing pretty strong. This is a pretty tough heads up, I think. Like, well, they both have pretty strong ideas of how you're supposed to play your pre-flop ranges. At least we're not seeing much post, but like, they both have very good ideas of how you should be playing your pre-flop ranges. It's very limited sample, granted, but they're playing well, I think.
Yeah, so the GK gonna complete button. And Kieran's got a shove.
I think Kieran will shove this on as well, yeah.
This is...
And I think GK will side-fold Queen 9, but is close. He's hating it. I mean, Queen 9 2 is like literally on the line here. This is like...
There we go, he's made the call though.
Oh, yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I think it's literally like that close. I think for this worth, I think these guys are really, really strong to like be thinking like this. I'm really, really impressed with these guys. I think Queen 9 is like... probably slightly losing, but like, is that close. But how they think about the game, like these guys are both playing really, really well. Yeah. Like they play cool.
Jack 8-6 flop, so the Queen 9 does pick up a 10 as an out. Ace on the turn, so Queen 9 or 10 needed. And Jack of Spades on the river, and that seals the deal. Kieran has put on a fantastic performance here at the FT, and he is going to be our high roller champion for £61,250. Commiserations to GK. He's going to take home just over £40,000, but I'm sure he'll be happy with the run. A career live score best for both. Tower's been waiting out there for the finish, and we are going to head over to the tower very shortly for the interviews and the trophy presentation. Let's hear from GK.
Second in the high roller.
Yeah.
Not a bad effort. Well done, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice rail.
Oh yeah, we've got the Dundee, Glasgow, and the Edinburgh here, so the whole team. Aye.
It was a great game. It was a good final to watch as well. It was. What was the day like? 'Cause obviously a lot of the play we didn't see coming onto the final table. What was the day like?
Well, I started with 500k, which was fine. Then I went down to 30k, spun up. Went down to 40k, spun up. Then final table was a good stack.
Start retaking your seats. As all players remaining in day 1B of the mystery bounty, please start retaking your seats.
Well, there's people still in the building.
I know. That's good.
So you started with 500k.
Yep. Then came to final table with 2 mil, then which was fine.
Yeah.
Then big man just ran like God mode on quite big fucking. We were just going for everybody basically.
Yeah. There's some good names in the final 20 as well, weren't there? When we were looking at the rooms.
Tough team. There's a lot of like good guys.
Yeah.
Those in there.
Yeah. Well, pat on the back. Well done, sir.
Cheers, thank you.
GK.
I appreciate that.
Top,
Thank you.
man.
Cheers.
Big round of applause for GK. Come on, Kieran. How we doing, buddy? Are we doing one of them? We're doing. You said to me, you said you're a little bit. You did run well, but you played very well as well.
Yeah, thanks.
A lot of people don't know who Kieran Duffy is. So tell me, come a little bit closer. Tell me a little bit about yourself and where do you play?
I play online mainly, like mid-stakes tourneys, like my average buy-in's like 50 quid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have much live experience.
So how do we flick in an HR?
An HR? What do you mean?
We've just got the high roller, you know. It's just.
Oh right. Well, yeah, it's a bit of a shock take, to be fair. It's my biggest ever buy-in, and just win it. So,
biggest buy-in.
Yeah.
Biggest win.
Yeah, I think it's only my second ever like live cash ever. So yeah, chuff for that.
Yeah. Well, we're obviously here for Goliath.
Yeah.
Are you playing the main?
Nah. I played.
We've just got to try. We've got to flick. At least flick one bullet in for me, please.
Nah, sorry. I played the 1K and a Sati, but I'm going home now.
Oh, that's it. We're going home with all the money and we're going home with all the money and the trophy. Where's Frankie? Who's it? Where is he? We're going to get on. Well, I'll sort it out. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for Mr. Kieran Duffy? There you go, sir. Congratulations. We're going to get him around the table for a few pictures. Many can't. We're going to fist bump because we're not, because it's a little bit. Fantastic effort. Kieran Duffy, champion of the high roller. Kieran Duffy, champion of the high roller.
That's all right, guys. And we are done for the day, just shy of 2 a.m. It's been another cracking day. We started with the Goliath and then moved to this final table. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Kieran's put on a flawless performance, I'd say. Didn't really see him put a foot wrong there and deserves to win it. We are just waiting for the tower to come back and then we will be closing up for the day. Don't forget that we start tomorrow.
I come running and I'm like, oh, I've got on my head.
Yeah, I'm just in the green screen spot. The green screen spot. Job done.
Hey, I tell you what, Andy Wilson was great to listen to.
Yeah, he's got some real good insights in the game, and he's one of the best in the UK poker scene at the moment. So, if you have a little listen and take on board what he said, I'm certainly going to go home and take on board some of the things he was saying there and potential to improve your game.
Indeedy. Nice finish off as well. Biggest comp he's ever brought into, biggest win. It's not bad, he do like 1 for 1.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all. Like you said, unfortunately that he can't do with the weekend, so he can't do. I did ask him why you're not doing Goliath. He said he didn't say it on camera, but he just said I can't do the weekend, so it is what it is. Yet again, thanks to you one and all for tuning in at this late hour. It's been fantastic yet again. The high roller's done, the 1K's done. It's a full day of Goliath tomorrow. We've got the bounty on the Thursday, but on Wednesday we've got Joker's Wild as well. It's all going off. But Kieran Duffy, champion in at Goliath for the high roller. Well done, sir. He's still there. All the pictures will be taken. Thanks to this guy, thanks to all the team over there, thanks to you guys for tuning in and making it as easy as possible, because without you, it's a tough old job. Well done everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow for a full day of Goliath antics around the table from 12:30. Join us then, we'll see you soon.
See you then, guys.
Good night.